Why is it that 99% of men miss this? And why do women secretly crave it? To love and be loved is to feel the sun from both sides. David V. Scott. It might sound bold, but let's face it. How many men do you know who have everything society tells us should attract women? They have the looks, the career, and the confidence that would make anyone take notice. Yet, when it comes to forming real, meaningful connections with women, something's just off. Why? It's not about money, looks, or how well you carry yourself in social situations. Those are just surface-level factors. The real reason most men fail to connect with women on a deeper level is far more subtle, and it's something most men overlook entirely. What are these missing pieces? And why do women secretly crave them? Today, I'm going to reveal the 10 hidden secrets that women crave but never admit. These aren't the typical dating tips you hear about over and over again. No, how to be the alpha, or how to win her over in 3 easy steps. We're talking about psychological triggers that women respond to subconsciously, rooted in both science and centuries-old Stoic wisdom. These secrets, once unlocked, will transform the way women view you. You'll stop chasing validation and start becoming the kind of man who naturally draws women in. Let me ask you this. What if you could tap into these subconscious desires that women don't even fully understand themselves? What if you could stand out effortlessly from the other 99% of men without chasing, without trying too hard? What if, instead of proving yourself, you simply understood what makes a woman feel seen, valued, and emotionally connected to you? Let's be clear. If you don't know these secrets, you're at a major disadvantage. The kind of attraction that keeps a woman thinking about you after you've left the room, you might be missing out on that. But imagine if you could change that. What would your dating life look like if you held the key to creating lasting, powerful connections with women? That's exactly why you need to stay until the end of this video. The last secret I'll share is the most impactful one. Once you understand it, your entire approach to attraction will change. And when it does, you'll never see relationships the same way again. Before we dive in, do me a favor. If you're serious about learning these life-changing techniques, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. You don't want to miss the insights that are about to completely shift the way you connect with women. Let's get started. Secret 1. The power of self-awareness. Self-awareness is one of the most powerful tools that any man can possess. It is the foundation of modern Stoicism and a key to understanding not only yourself, but the world around you. The importance of self-awareness cannot be overstated. It's the ability to look inward, to examine your thoughts, emotions, and actions with an objective lens, which leads to growth and better decision-making. Don't fool yourself into thinking that self-awareness is some vague, philosophical concept. It's a real, tangible skill that will impact your relationships, career, and personal happiness. You must understand yourself before you can understand others. The greatest thinkers, like Marcus Aurelius, once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This speaks to the essence of self-awareness. It's not about idealizing an image of who you are, but about recognizing the truth of your strengths and weaknesses. In today's world, this concept is more important than ever. As men, we are often taught to suppress our emotions, to man up, and to act as though we don't feel or need anything. But that mindset is precisely what keeps us from truly understanding our needs, desires, and, most importantly, the needs of those around us. If you are constantly unaware of your emotional triggers, your insecurities, or your behavior patterns, then how can you expect to form deep, meaningful connections with others? In fact, you must understand that being emotionally unaware and detached from your feelings only leads to dissatisfaction and misunderstandings in your relationships. For example, the things that many women crave, such as emotional connection, empathy, and presence, cannot be accessed unless you first know yourself. Don't think for a second that you can get by on surface-level interactions. Those who do are missing out on the deeper, more rewarding relationships life has to offer. When you practice self-awareness, you open the door to greater understanding and stronger emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions, as well as the emotions of others. This is the cornerstone of building meaningful relationships with anyone, but especially with women. They don't just want someone who is strong. They want someone who is aware of their own emotional landscape, someone who understands the subtleties of their actions and words. The simple truth is that people, especially women, are drawn to those who are self-aware. You must be someone who can see beyond their own ego, someone who can pause and reflect, and, most importantly, someone who is conscious of the impact their behavior has on others. This is not about becoming a passive observer of your life, but rather about taking an active role in shaping your own destiny. What's more, self-awareness makes you a better decision-maker. The more you understand about your own thoughts and motivations, the better equipped you are to make choices that align with your values and goals. Don't let life happen to you. Take control of your actions and reactions. Make decisions that move you closer to the man you want to be, not just the man you are right now. And when things don't go according to plan, self-awareness helps you navigate the storm with grace and clarity. You see, self-awareness doesn't just make you a better partner or friend, it makes you a better man. Period. As the philosopher Socrates famously said, "Know thyself," and he could not have been more right. When you know who you are, you know where you stand, and you stand firm. In real life, this translates into practical actions, paying attention to your thoughts, questioning your assumptions, and constantly checking in with yourself. The more you reflect, the more you learn. And this isn't just for your benefit. When you become self-aware, you're also creating space for those around you to do the same. You set the example. You lead by showing up as your most authentic self. And that's what modern Stoicism is all about, finding peace within yourself and accepting responsibility for your own actions. You must realize that this kind of internal strength is not built overnight, but it is the result of constant practice and mindfulness. Take the time to understand your triggers, your needs, and how you react in different situations. By becoming more self-aware, you will grow not only as a man, but also as a partner, a friend, and a leader. The truth is, self-awareness is not something you can fake. You cannot pretend to be aware of your emotions or behavior. It takes time, effort, and vulnerability to peel back the layers of your ego and face the reality of who you are. But in the end, this is the ultimate key to building the deep, lasting connections that every man secretly craves. Don't shy away from this process. Embrace it. When you are fully aware of who you are, you will unlock a new level of power in your life and relationships. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about the power of self-awareness? How has it impacted your life? Leave a comment and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Comment to remember. Self-awareness unlocks the world within and around you. Secret 2. The subtle art of mystery. The subtle art of mystery. In today's world, modern relationships are often defined by a lack of depth, and men frequently find themselves struggling to maintain the intrigue and allure that are essential for a lasting connection. If you want to understand why some women seem drawn to certain men, it's not because they are the most handsome or wealthy. It's because they have mastered the art of mystery. Men, let me be clear. If you want to attract women and hold their attention, you cannot afford to make your entire life transparent. A key principle of Stoicism is the idea of controlling what you reveal about yourself. There's power in maintaining an air of mystery, something that many men overlook in the rush of trying to show everything up front. This subtle, yet crucial dynamic is often forgotten, yet it can be the difference between building a deep connection and fading into obscurity. The fact is, women crave emotional stimulation, but not just any stimulation. They seek the kind of unpredictability and complexity that comes with a man who holds his cards close. Think about the Stoic philosophers. They didn't engage in unnecessary conversation or try to impress others with flashy displays. They lived deliberately, which made their every move, word, and gesture far more meaningful. You must do the same. When you reveal too much about yourself too quickly, you give away your power. You lose the opportunity to captivate and hold her attention. The mystery isn't about being secretive for the sake of it, but about keeping her intrigued, allowing her to discover who you truly are bit by bit, and making her yearn for more. There's a story that reflects this principle perfectly. Imagine a man who is constantly in the spotlight, sharing every detail of his life on social media, boasting about his success, always seeking validation. He might attract attention, but it's superficial. The moment he loses that shine, he becomes forgettable. On the other hand, think of the Stoic man. He's not concerned with everyone knowing what he's doing. His actions speak louder than his words, and his life has a depth that others can't easily access. The mystery he holds creates a sense of intrigue, leaving people wanting more. This is what you should aim for, to let your life speak for itself. Don't let everything be laid bare for others to judge. Keep your sense of self and strength rooted in your ability to maintain this aura of mystery. Modern relationships often suffer from an oversaturation of information. With social media and constant connectivity, everyone is an open book. But just like a story, the less you reveal, the more engaging it becomes. When you master the art of leaving some things unsaid, you open the door to intrigue and deepen the attraction. And it's not just about mystery for the sake of it, it's about maintaining an emotional balance. Women don't want to feel like they know everything about you right away. They want to explore, to learn, and to grow with you. If you're too transparent, if you throw all your cards on the table too quickly, you remove the emotional challenge that makes relationships exciting. The principle of less is more is crucial here. The Stoics understood that the more we reveal, the more we expose ourselves to the judgments and expectations of others. If we let them know everything, we lose the element of control and the opportunity to cultivate real attraction. To put it simply, stop over-explaining your thoughts, stop giving away all your plans, and stop chasing approval. Instead, focus on becoming a man who holds his ground and leaves just enough to be discovered. This is the subtle art of mystery. You must also understand that mystery isn't just about being emotionally unavailable or distant. It's about being deliberate with your presence and engagement. Women don't want a man who's an enigma for the sake of it, but rather someone who makes them feel something deeper and more profound than the surface-level interactions that many men offer today. There's power in being the kind of man who can engage, who listens, who speaks when necessary, but who is never too predictable, never too available. When you can do this, you're not only mastering the art of mystery, but you're also embodying the very essence of Stoicism, living deliberately, holding yourself with purpose, and drawing people to you without effort. Let me leave you with this. If you're serious about mastering modern relationships and attracting the kind of woman who wants something real, then you must first understand this powerful truth. Mystery is a magnetic force. It demands attention, it piques curiosity, and it commands respect. You must stop oversharing and start living in a way that leaves room for others to be intrigued, to desire, and to ultimately seek deeper connection with you. You cannot afford to give away everything, and you cannot afford to lose the allure of mystery. Your power is in what you hold back, and when you learn how to harness it, you will experience a level of attraction that most men will never know. Comment to remember: mystery is magnetic and less is more. Secret 3. The power of listening. Listen carefully, for what I'm about to share is not just another trivial piece of advice. This is a secret, a powerful, ancient truth, reimagined for the modern man. You may have heard it before, but you've never truly understood it like you will now. The power of listening is a weapon every man should wield. It's not a suggestion, it's a command. Don't let it slip away. In today's world, When noise constantly drowns out meaning, your ability to listen, truly listen, is what sets you apart. In a society where everyone wants to talk, it's the few who can listen with intent that hold the true power. Here's the truth. Women, despite what they may say, crave one thing above all else. They crave being heard, not just listened to, but truly heard. In a world where their voices are often drowned out by the demands of life, work, and the constant rush of modernity, their most intimate desire is a man who listens deeply, who understands what words are left unsaid. I'm talking about a type of listening that goes beyond just hearing sounds. It's an art, a skill that requires control, patience, and the wisdom of a Stoic. A man who listens isn't just giving his attention, he's giving his respect, his time, his focus. He's showing mastery over his impulses and his ego, and that speaks volumes in a world that's desperate for meaningful connection. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "The greatest wealth is to live content with little." But here's what he didn't say. True contentment, for a man, often begins with the ability to listen. Listen with intent. Listen without judgment. Listen with the strength to remain silent even when your mind is screaming to speak. That's a man who understands his true power. And women? They will crave that. Why? Because they know the value of being truly listened to. It's rare. It's special. It's powerful. Now, in the modern world, listening is more than just a passive act. It's an active choice. It's a signal that you are not distracted by your own thoughts, but that you are fully engaged in the moment. You are showing the highest form of respect by focusing entirely on the person in front of you. That kind of undivided attention, it's magnetic. It's like holding a mirror up to their soul and letting them know, I see you, I understand you, and I am present with you in this moment. In relationships, whether personal or professional, that's the kind of presence that leads to trust. That's the foundation for deep, meaningful bonds. When you listen like this, you are not just reacting to words. You are absorbing their emotions, their needs, their subtle cues. And when you act on this knowledge, you show them you've understood. And that is what makes you not just a listener, but a leader. When you listen, you are leading with your mind, your spirit, and your actions. You become the man that others can't stop gravitating toward. Women will gravitate toward you, not because you said the right words, but because you listened and made them feel seen and heard in a way that no one else does. But don't misunderstand this. This isn't about being passive. This isn't about being a doormat. This isn't about letting people take advantage of your time or your presence. It's about mastery over yourself. The Stoics taught us that we must have control over our emotions, our thoughts, and our impulses. It's about knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. And in that silence, in that quiet control, you will find your power. Don't speak when you're not ready to listen. Silence is a source of great strength, Lao Tzu once said. That's exactly what the Stoics believed, and that's what they practiced every day. Silence is strength, and listening is the art of silence in action. When you listen, you are in control. You are not reacting to the chaos around you. You are choosing to engage with calmness, understanding, and purpose. Women crave this because they can sense that calmness. They crave being with a man who is not easily rattled, who can sit with them, listen, and respond with clarity. This is not weakness. This is supreme strength. Here's your action step. Make a commitment to listen, to stop interrupting, to stop jumping to conclusions, to stop thinking about your own response while they're still talking. Just listen. Be present. And watch how this one simple act transforms your interactions. Watch how it deepens your relationships. Watch how women and the people around you respond to this mastery. They will crave your attention, not because you offer them shallow compliments or endless chatter, but because you offer them your most valuable asset, your presence, your undivided attention. The modern world is full of distractions, and so many men are chasing fleeting validation. But those who are wise know. It's not about chasing anything. It's about owning your space and commanding respect. And that starts with listening. When you listen, you gain more than you could ever imagine. You gain trust, you gain respect, you gain connection, and you gain the quiet strength of a man who has mastered himself and the world around him. So here's the real question. Are you willing to listen? Are you willing to practice the most powerful skill that will not only transform your relationships, but your very life? It's a choice, and only you can make it. Don't wait. Start today. Listen, lead, master your world. Secret 4. The importance of kindness to others. Kindness is a virtue that, when practiced with intention, has the power to change lives, not only for those who receive it, but also for those who give it. In the context of modern Stoicism, kindness goes beyond mere politeness or superficial gestures. It's about cultivating empathy, understanding, and a deep awareness of the interconnectedness between us all. We live in a world often dominated by ego, competition, and personal gain. Yet it's important to remember that Stoic wisdom teaches us to rise above these impulses. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If we only focus on ourselves, we lose sight of the value in supporting others, lifting them up when they struggle, and showing compassion in ways that have lasting effects. There's no question that kindness creates a ripple effect. A simple act of kindness, whether it's holding a door open for someone or offering a genuine compliment, can not only improve someone's day, but can also alter the course of their life in profound ways. This is where modern Stoicism intersects with kindness, recognizing that our lives are not isolated, but intricately tied to others. In today's fast-paced, often harsh world, it's easy to overlook the impact of a kind gesture. But think about it. When was the last time you truly felt seen, heard, or understood? A simple acknowledgement of someone's existence, a soft word in the midst of their chaos, could be the difference between despair and hope. This is why Stoic philosophy emphasizes how we are all part of a greater whole. Every person we encounter is an opportunity to demonstrate kindness, to be a source of comfort in their struggles, or to bring joy to their hearts. Being kind doesn't just benefit the recipient. It has an almost magical effect on the giver. It strengthens your emotional resilience and helps to cultivate a sense of peace within. The Stoics taught us that external circumstances, things we can't control, should not be the determining factor in our happiness. Instead, we must focus on controlling our responses. So, when we choose kindness, we not only improve the lives of others, but also our own. When you act with kindness, you align yourself with the best part of your nature, with the aspect of your being that reflects courage, strength, and integrity. In times of hardship, remember that your actions are within your control. You must choose to act with compassion, and in doing so, you strengthen your sense of self. Another critical element is that kindness fosters trust and deepens relationships. Imagine the power of a friendship built on mutual kindness, where each person feels valued and understood. It's in these connections that we find true fulfillment. Women, in particular, secretly crave emotional security and trust in their relationships, but they also need their partners to show empathy and understanding. When we practice kindness, we build this bridge of emotional support, and in turn, we attract deeper, more meaningful connections with others. It's not about grand gestures or material gifts. It's the small, everyday acts of consideration that make all the difference. You must also realize that kindness is a muscle that grows stronger the more you use it. At first, it may feel unnatural, especially in a world that often rewards harshness or competition. But like all virtues, kindness becomes easier with practice. The Stoics emphasize the importance of habit, the repetitive practice of actions that align with our values. When you make kindness a habit, when you intentionally choose to be kind, not because it's easy, but because it's right, you transform not only your relationships, but your entire outlook on life. It's important to understand that kindness is not a one-time act, but a consistent way of being. As we navigate through the challenges of our lives, remember that it's often the simplest things that can make the most profound impact. Don't underestimate the power of a smile, a compliment, or a moment of patience. These small acts are what create the bonds that hold us together in this fast-paced, often disconnected world. And by living with kindness, you will see how much stronger, more connected, and more fulfilled you feel. As you engage with those around you, both in your personal and professional lives, make kindness your default approach. Don't wait for others to show it to you first. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Lastly, remember that kindness is a reflection of your own inner strength. It takes courage to be kind, especially when the world may not always reciprocate. But as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Use this wisdom to be present for others, to listen with empathy, and to act with kindness. Let this be your guiding principle as you move through life. Do not wait for the world to be kind to you. Instead, be the source of kindness, and you will see how it transforms your relationships and your own life. I encourage you to reflect on your own acts of kindness. How can you incorporate more kindness into your daily life? Don't hold back. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Comment to remember, kindness is a reflection of inner strength. Secret 5. The charm of a beard. The charm of a beard is far deeper than just facial hair. It's a symbol of strength, wisdom, and a timeless masculinity that attracts respect and admiration. A man's beard is his armor, they say, but it is so much more. In a world where men are constantly told to be more polished, more refined, the natural growth of facial hair is a rebellion against conformity, a statement that you are unapologetically yourself. You are not bound by the fleeting trends or opinions of others. Your beard reflects the unspoken power of authenticity. It's not just about the look, it's about what the look represents. Women, too, often find this charm irresistible. Why? Because it signifies confidence. Men with beards, especially well-maintained ones, radiate a self-assured energy that says, I know who I am, and I am not afraid to show it. This quiet strength is something women secretly crave. It's a testament to masculinity that's not afraid to embrace its raw, untamed nature. But this isn't merely a physical trait. It's about adopting the mindset of the Stoic, the modern man who walks through life with purpose, with unshakable resolve. The Stoic philosophy teaches us to cultivate inner strength, to remain calm and composed, no matter the external chaos. Much like the man who wears his beard, the Stoic holds his ground in a world that constantly seeks to shake him. His presence commands respect because he is grounded in his values and has built his life on integrity. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how, said Friedrich Nietzsche. This quote speaks directly to the Stoic man who doesn't just exist. He lives with intention, with a purpose that runs deeper than the superficial demands of society. A man's beard also symbolizes the passage of time. Every strand is a reminder of experiences lived, challenges overcome, and wisdom gained. The longer the beard, the more seasoned the man. It's a symbol that you've endured, adapted, and emerged stronger. Women are drawn to this subtle display of resilience because it signals maturity and depth, traits that are incredibly attractive. It shows that you're not just a boy trying to impress, but a man who has weathered storms and come out on the other side with stories to tell. In modern life, where instant gratification is the norm and patience is a rare commodity, the man with a beard reminds us that good things take time. Growing a beard requires commitment, upkeep, and patience. It's a reflection of the Stoic principle of perseverance, staying the course, even when the world around you is screaming for you to rush. As a modern Stoic, you must learn to be deliberate in your actions, not letting external pressures dictate your rhythm. Just as a beard grows slowly, so too does wisdom and strength. They cannot be hurried, and they cannot be faked. But let's get real for a moment. It's not enough to just grow a beard. You must take care of it. You must groom it, maintain it, and nurture it to ensure it remains an expression of your inner strength. This is where modern Stoicism comes in, not just surviving life, but thriving within it. Women admire a man who takes pride in his appearance because it shows that he values himself. A well-groomed beard is a reflection of a man who understands discipline and self-care. It's a sign that you don't just float through life aimlessly, but you actively craft the person you wish to become. Don't let the world tell you what is attractive or what makes you a man. Take control of your image. If your beard represents your strength, let it speak volumes about your inner conviction. Let it be a reminder that true masculinity isn't just about the surface level, it's about the depth of your character. A beard, in all its charm, is a visible sign of a man who has embraced the Stoic principles of wisdom, strength, and resilience. It is a badge of honor, one that silently commands respect and attracts admiration. So don't skip this lesson, men. Grow your beard, grow your strength, and let the world see you as the man you are meant to be. What are your thoughts on this timeless symbol of masculinity? Share your opinion in the comments below. Secret 6. The hand on her back in public. The hand on her back in public. This simple act, subtle yet powerful, speaks volumes about the nature of a man's confidence and the respect he has for his partner. Men, if you want to understand the hidden secrets that women crave, you need to pay attention to the details, like how you position yourself with her in public. This is more than just a physical gesture. It's a statement of your dominance, your control, and your respect for her as an equal. In the fast-paced, often chaotic world we live in today, many men overlook the importance of such gestures, believing they are outdated or insignificant. But in reality, they carry far more weight than you might think. A hand placed gently on her back as you walk together is not just an act of affection, it's an unspoken promise of protection, stability, and a strong, guiding presence. You must understand that women, at their core, crave security and trust. When you touch her back in public, it's not about showing off or marking territory. It's about silently communicating that you are there for her. The Stoics were masters of composure, of showing their true power through restraint. They didn't need to shout their virtues from the rooftops. Instead, they lived in a way that demonstrated their strength, confidence, and sense of responsibility. In modern relationships, a simple touch like this, firm but gentle, is a reflection of that very Stoic strength. It says, "I'm here, I'm solid, and I'm not going anywhere." It reassures her silently that no matter the external pressures or challenges, you will stand strong beside her. Think of this in terms of the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, the idea of maintaining composure, focusing on what you can control, and displaying calmness in the face of external chaos. By placing your hand on her back in public, you are silently embodying this philosophy. You are not reacting to the noise of the world around you. Instead, you're grounded, steady, and in control. This gesture is a form of silent leadership, telling her that you have the strength to protect her in the unpredictable world we live in. Women desire a man who can maintain that level of control, not just in private, but in the world outside where uncertainty lurks at every corner. When you exude this kind of confidence, they can't help but feel safe, valued, and understood. But it's also about demonstrating that you respect her autonomy. The hand on her back isn't about ownership, it's about support. It's a gesture that shows you acknowledge her independence while still being there for her in a way that gives her the confidence to be herself. In modern relationships, we sometimes fall into the trap of thinking we need to dominate or control everything, but real strength comes from respecting her as an equal. Just as the Stoics believed in self-control and temperance, your touch should be deliberate, not overbearing or possessive, but supportive and steady. The essence of the Stoic ideal is not in aggression or force, but in understanding the depth of connection and showing that connection through quiet, powerful gestures. Imagine walking through a crowded room with her by your side. You could easily ignore her, walk ahead, or leave her to fend for herself. Or you could place your hand gently on her back, guiding her through the crowd, showing the world that she is not alone. This simple act lets everyone around you know that you are strong, confident, and most importantly, reliable. It's an outward display of the Stoic values of strength, stability, and leadership. You should never underestimate the power of this gesture. In modern life, it's easy to overlook the importance of small gestures because we're distracted by the noise of technology, work, and other external pressures. Yet, the simple act of placing your hand on her back in public is a reminder that some things, respect, strength, and love, don't need to be broadcast to be felt. You don't need to shout your affection from the rooftops, nor do you need to buy grand gestures to prove your devotion. Instead, you can communicate your love through small, meaningful actions that demonstrate the depth of your commitment. A hand on her back in public is a timeless symbol of connection, strength, and emotional security. So men, here's your challenge. Don't let the chaos of modern life erode the simple but powerful gestures that keep your relationship strong. You don't need to say a word to communicate strength and confidence. A simple touch, a hand on her back, speaks louder than any words ever could. It reminds her that you're there, guiding her, protecting her, and supporting her, and in doing so, you reaffirm your role as her rock in a world that often feels unpredictable. You must never underestimate the power of small acts, for they are the foundation of a powerful, lasting connection. If you want to build a relationship that lasts, you must start with these small but powerful gestures, grounded in the Stoic ideals of strength, control, and respect. Secret 7. The power of touch before intimacy. Let me tell you something that very few men understand. The power of touch. Not just any touch, but the right touch, at the right time, before intimacy. This is not just some trivial advice, it's a secret, a key to understanding what women secretly crave, and if you don't pay attention, you'll miss it. But here's the thing, you must master this if you want to truly connect. Don't underestimate it. This isn't just about physical connection, it's about the deep, emotional bond that only a man who understands the art of touch can create. Women long for a man who gets it. They crave touch that isn't rushed, that doesn't just jump into the next step, but one that is slow, deliberate, and full of intention. A man who can create this with a simple gesture or touch holds immense power. It's a power not derived from force, but from wisdom, patience, and restraint. This isn't new. The Stoics understood the importance of connection, of emotional depth, long before modern psychology caught up. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The strength he was referring to isn't just the ability to control your actions, it's the ability to control the way you interact with the world, with those closest to you. Touch before intimacy, when done right, is a display of this strength. It's not just physical, it's a statement. It's a reminder that you're present, that you're not just rushing to the next step, but you're invested in the moment. When you do this, you are showing emotional mastery. You are not controlled by impulse or lust, but by awareness and understanding. And women know this. They feel this power. They crave this deliberate approach. Think about it. How many times has a woman told you she feels rushed, ignored, or invisible? That's because, in today's world, most interactions, most relationships, and yes, most touches are mechanical, rushed, and devoid of true meaning. They are transactional. But that's not the way of a Stoic. A Stoic knows that true power comes from control, from taking the time to savor every moment, from feeling every touch. And this touch before intimacy? It is the ultimate sign of control. It's a sign of knowing exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to make her feel valued. You have to understand, touch is not just about physical closeness. It's a powerful emotional signal. And if you think you can just rush into intimacy without first establishing the right kind of touch, you're missing the point. You are not allowing her to feel safe. You are not allowing her to feel seen. And if she doesn't feel seen, she will never feel fully comfortable. Without that comfort, intimacy becomes a transaction, not an experience. This is why you must master touch first. Think about the profound impact a simple gesture can have. A hand on the shoulder, a gentle touch on the arm, the feel of your presence without words. These are not just physical acts, they are emotional touchstones. In these moments, you show that you understand her. You communicate that you value her enough to take things slow. You create the space for true intimacy to emerge. This is the modern Stoic way. It's the way of strength, patience, and self-mastery. And here's the kicker. The reason why women crave this touch is because it's rare. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, with the pressure to move quickly, a man who can slow things down and truly engage on a deeper level is a rare treasure. Women feel this on a subconscious level. They crave it, but they don't always know how to articulate it. It's a feeling, and you, as a modern Stoic, can be the man who gives them that feeling. If you can master the art of touch before intimacy, you will not only enhance your relationships, you will unlock a deeper form of connection. Women will trust you more. They will open up to you more. And in the process, you will gain more than just their affection. You will earn their respect. You will command their attention. This is the power of the modern Stoic, the power of control over your impulses, your actions, and the way you interact with those around you. Now stop and think about it. What are you waiting for? Don't let this moment pass you by. It's time to step into your power. It's time to learn how to touch with intention, to slow down, to feel, to connect. Don't just move through life, own it. Don't just rush to intimacy, master the art of touch before it. You must act on this knowledge. This is your time to lead. This is your time to master the relationships you've always wanted. Don't wait. Start now. Touch with purpose. Lead with strength. Master your world. Secret 8. Flirting with confidence and respect. Flirting with confidence and respect is not just an art. It's a powerful skill that can transform your relationships and make you a man who truly stands out. But this isn't about using shallow tactics or playing games. It's about genuinely understanding what women secretly crave. Women don't desire arrogance or superficial charm. They crave authenticity, self-assurance, and respect. As a modern Stoic, you must understand that confidence is rooted in self-awareness, not in dominance or manipulation. True confidence is about knowing who you are, what you stand for, and being comfortable in your own skin. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." When you walk with confidence, not only do you attract the right kind of attention, but you also signal to others that you respect yourself. And when you respect yourself, you naturally command respect from others. Flirting, when done with true respect, creates an atmosphere of mutual appreciation and admiration, not one of pressure or manipulation. So, stop trying to impress. Instead, focus on connecting with others on a deeper level. Remember, real confidence isn't about what you can get from others, it's about what you can bring to the table. Women crave men who are strong, self-sufficient, and emotionally mature, not those who need constant validation. You must be willing to be vulnerable and open without fear of rejection. This doesn't mean being careless or disrespectful. It means being fully present, attentive, and showing genuine interest. And, if you want to make a lasting impression, understand that women secretly crave emotional security. They want to know that you are capable of holding space for them, that you can listen and understand their feelings without rushing to fix everything. You must be the change you wish to see in the world, Gandhi said. Apply this wisdom to your flirting. Be the kind of man who can provide a safe, confident space for women to express themselves without fear of judgment. This is the modern Stoic way. Don't let external validation dictate your worth. Don't rely on empty compliments or flattery. Instead, focus on building genuine, meaningful connections. Let your actions speak louder than words. Women can sense when a man is being authentic, and that's what they truly desire. So, embrace your true self. Be kind, confident, and above all, respectful. This will not only make you a better man, but will also make you someone others are drawn to. And when you apply these principles in real life, you will see how your interactions evolve from shallow exchanges to deep, fulfilling connections. Don't wait for perfection. Take action now. Flirt with purpose, and always do so with respect. Make sure to leave your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's discuss how we can all improve our interactions with those around us. Secret 9. The power of touching her hair. The power of touching her hair is often underestimated, yet it holds an incredible force in relationships and in life. Men, listen closely. You don't realize just how much your actions, even the subtle ones, can leave a lasting impact. The hair is the crown of a woman, they say, and this saying has truth. Touching her hair, in the right moment, can communicate more than words ever could. It's not about stroking her hair mindlessly. It's about recognizing the quiet power behind this gesture, a gesture that shows care, tenderness, and attentiveness. You don't need to constantly remind her of your affection, but this small, meaningful touch can create an emotional bond that words cannot. A Stoic understands this, the power of simplicity and the effectiveness of subtlety. Modern Stoicism teaches us that actions speak louder than words, and that's precisely what a simple touch of her hair can accomplish. It's an expression of patience, of being present in the moment, of observing her without rushing to speak. It's a reminder that love isn't always loud. It's sometimes quiet and steady, like the calm presence of a man who knows the value of his actions. But let's be clear, this doesn't mean that every man should be touching her hair all the time. Far from it. A Stoic man knows the value of timing, of restraint. This is where true mastery lies. It's not about forcing intimacy, but understanding when to create it. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." What does this mean for the modern man? It means that your touch, your actions, should come from a place of clear intention, not from impulse or manipulation. You should not be seeking approval or validation in this touch, but simply expressing genuine affection. The act of touching her hair should never feel like a transactional move. It should be a genuine expression of your presence, of your mindfulness. If done right, it can deepen the emotional connection and create an unspoken bond that goes beyond the physical. This act ties into something bigger, the idea of being a modern Stoic. A Stoic man understands that the world around him is chaotic, but he remains calm, focused, and disciplined in his interactions. He doesn't rush into things. He doesn't get caught up in the noise. Instead, he takes the time to observe, to act with purpose. Just like in Stoicism, you need to understand that not all actions are urgent, and not all moments require force. Sometimes, the most powerful action is the one you don't do, the one where you just sit quietly, touch her hair, and let the moment speak for itself. This patience, this self-control, is incredibly attractive to women. It signals to them that you are not desperate, that you are not here to take. You are here to give, to build a deeper connection. In real life, think about it this way. In a world filled with distractions, rushing from one thing to the next, a simple touch can show her that you see her, that you appreciate her, and that you understand the value of being present. It's not about grand gestures. It's about the quiet, everyday acts that show your character, your attention to detail, your ability to connect on a deeper level. This is a skill that can be honed, just like any other Stoic practice. Practice restraint, practice attentiveness, and most importantly, practice empathy. When you touch her hair, do so with the understanding that this simple act can evoke feelings of comfort, trust, and emotional safety. A woman's hair holds a deeper significance than you might think. It is part of her identity, her femininity, her strength. By touching it with care, you are acknowledging all of these layers, showing respect for who she is beyond the surface. But don't take my word for it. Think about the power of a simple touch in your own life. Has there been a moment when a touch, a glance, or a small gesture made all the difference in how you connected with someone? The key here is not just to touch her hair, but to understand why you're doing it. What is your intention behind it? It should never be manipulative, but always purposeful and meaningful. In the end, it's not just the touch that matters, but the attention you give to the moment, the emotional depth you bring to it. So men, ask yourself, when was the last time you used the simple power of a touch to create a deeper connection? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Secret 10. Be her hero, the protector. In today's world, where chaos and unpredictability rule, women crave the presence of a man who is not only strong, but reliable. A man who can protect them, both physically and emotionally. If you want to understand the hidden truths about what women secretly desire, know this. The greatest gift you can give her is the reassurance that you are there to protect her, not just in moments of danger, but in the daily ebb and flow of life. Don't be mistaken. Protection is not just about muscle or bravado. It's about showing up, being present, and demonstrating a steadfast sense of stability that she can always rely on. You must become her hero, but in a way that is deeper than just surface-level heroics. This is where the Stoic philosophy can give you power, a power that is built on strength of character, consistency, and the ability to stay calm in the face of adversity. A true protector is not a man who reacts impulsively or with anger, but one who responds with composed confidence and clarity. In the face of the storms of life, you must be the steady force that she can count on, someone whose presence alone provides a sense of calm. The ancient Stoics knew that true power lies in control, not just control over the external world, but also control over oneself. In modern times, this means staying grounded in your own emotions and actions. Don't let life's uncertainties rattle you. Be deliberate, be calm. A man who is in control of his emotions, who doesn't react impulsively, and who can navigate challenges with poise, exudes a kind of strength that is magnetic. Women crave this type of strength. It's not about being a perfect hero who always knows what to do, but rather someone who rises to meet each challenge, no matter how small or large, with a clear mind and a determined will. That is the true essence of protection, the ability to stay composed when the world around you is not. When you're the calm in her storm, you offer her the reassurance she needs to navigate her own world with confidence. Don't underestimate the quiet power that comes with being her protector. It's not always about grand gestures or dramatic acts. Sometimes it's about small, consistent actions that remind her that you have her back. In modern relationships, where speed and convenience often overshadow depth, showing up in the small moments is what sets you apart. A protector is someone who consistently proves that he is there for her, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's hard. When she's facing challenges at work, when she's struggling with personal doubts, when the world feels like it's falling apart, your steady presence becomes her anchor. You must be the one who calms her fears, not by solving everything for her, but by being the strong foundation she can lean on. Remember, Stoicism teaches us the importance of focusing on what we can control and letting go of the rest. In relationships, this means controlling your own actions and emotions, not attempting to fix everything around you. As her protector, your greatest role is not to fight every battle for her, but to provide her with the confidence that she is capable of facing those battles herself, with your support. It's a subtle yet profound shift, being there to guide her, to listen, and to provide perspective without overstepping. Women don't want a man who is constantly trying to fix things for them. They want a man who empowers them to stand on their own, knowing that he is there, unwavering, should they need him. The modern world may not have the same physical dangers as it once did, but women still face a multitude of emotional, social, and professional challenges. Be the man who stands tall and steady as she faces these challenges. It's not just about protecting her from external harm, but protecting her emotional well-being as well. This means understanding when to speak and when to listen, when to step up and when to step back, and always respecting her autonomy while providing a safe space for her to express herself freely. You must be her hero, not in grand gestures, but in the quiet consistency of your actions. Show her that no matter what happens, you are there, unshaken, a true protector in every sense of the word. Men, you must rise to this challenge. You must be the protector, the one she can rely on. But remember, this doesn't mean being domineering or overbearing. It means being calm, composed, and unwavering. Your strength lies in your ability to stay grounded, in your ability to be consistent, and in your ability to be her steady support when she needs it most. Be her hero, not through grand speeches or over-the-top acts, but through small, powerful acts of reliability. The Stoic man doesn't need to announce his strength to the world. He lives it every day, through every action and decision. When you embody this Stoic strength, you will become the hero she has been searching for, the protector she can trust, the man who is unshakable in the face of life's storms. Be her hero, the protector. In a world that's often unpredictable and filled with noise, be the calm, steady force she can depend on. This is your responsibility, and it is a powerful one. Don't shrink from it, embrace it fully, and become the protector she's been waiting for. Secret 11. The power of shared laughter. Let's get straight to the point. Shared laughter is a power you cannot afford to ignore. It's not just about jokes or humour. It's about connection. Women crave a man who can make them laugh, but not just because he's funny. They crave a man who can share a real, genuine moment of joy. Someone who taps into the core of human connection and sees life with a sense of humour. This is your power. It's a weapon that builds intimacy, breaks down walls, and creates a bond that goes beyond words. As a modern Stoic, you must understand that laughter is the key to connection. It's a way to break free from the stress and pressure of daily life and create something deeper. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By sharing laughter, you share that joy, that quality. Laughter signals emotional control and presence. It shows you're not caught in the chaos. You can stop, laugh, and connect. This is emotional strength. Women secretly crave a man who can provide this kind of emotional space. A man who can make her laugh is a man who leads with confidence and depth, not shallow attempts at validation. So what are you waiting for? Don't just rush through life. Take control. Master the art of shared laughter. Make her laugh. Show her you can be present, human, and connected. It's time to use laughter as your tool, to build intimacy, to create stronger bonds, and to lead with genuine power. Don't miss this. Lead with joy. Master the art of connection. Transform your relationships. Secret 12. The power of dreams. Dreams are not mere fantasies. They are the fuel for ambition and purpose. A modern Stoic understands this truth. To live a fulfilled life, you must embrace your dreams and take bold action. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts." Your dreams shape who you become, so don't let negativity or doubt hinder your pursuit. Take your dreams seriously and commit to turning them into reality. Too often, men get distracted by life's chaos, but a Stoic remains focused on his vision. Dreams are the key to unlocking potential in all areas of life, and they attract those around you, especially women. They crave men who are purposeful, confident, and driven. When you align your actions with your dreams, you become magnetic. The most successful men are those who dare to dream beyond their current reality and take bold steps toward their goals. Remember, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it, as Seneca said. Every moment you delay is a moment lost. Keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles. Your dreams have the power to ignite your passion and guide you through adversity. Women are drawn to men who persevere, who live with purpose, and who never quit. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Act now and step into the life you're meant to live. Share your dreams in the comments, and let's inspire each other to take action and make them a reality. There you have it. 12 subtle but powerful truths most men never hear, but every woman quietly responds to. Not because they're tricks or hacks, but because they reflect something deeper. A man who's aware, present, and leads with quiet understanding. The kind of man who doesn't just attract attention, but earns respect and keeps her heart. All men should watch this video. 7 psychological tricks to make any woman obsessed with you. Stoicism, modern stoic. The quieter you become, the more you can hear. Zrenia Ram Das. Here's a thought most guys never consider. You don't need to impress her. You need to understand her. Let's drop the act for a second. No flashy lines, no games. Just a real conversation man to man. Women aren't some unsolvable puzzle. In fact, once you get how they process emotion, attention, and connection, everything starts making sense. It's not about playing a part. It's about showing up with the kind of presence that pulls her in without trying. Today, we're not talking about attraction in the shallow sense. We're talking about the kind that lingers, that makes her check her phone, wondering if you've messaged, that makes her replay what you said, how you looked at her, how you felt to be around. This isn't magic, it's psychology. And most men never learn it because they're too busy pretending to be someone they're not. What I'm about to share are 7 subtle but powerful psychological shifts that quietly flip the switch in a woman's mind. They're not tricks, they're more like frequencies, and once you're tuned in, she won't just notice you, she'll feel drawn to you without knowing why. This isn't about dominance or control, it's about emotional gravity. Most guys come across like noise, but when you know what you're doing, you become a signal. So if you're tired of chasing and ready to be the kind of man she can't stop thinking about, keep watching. You're about to learn what really makes the difference. Number 1. Ignore her beauty, praise her mind. Stop falling into the same trap that nearly every man falls into. You meet a beautiful woman, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is something like, "Wow, you're so gorgeous," or "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." It might feel like the right thing to say. It sounds polite, respectful, even charming. But here's the harsh truth. It's not impressive. In fact, it's predictable, it's ordinary, and worst of all, it's forgettable. Why? Because attractive women hear these compliments constantly. Every man who crosses her path says the same thing. It's like background noise, something she's trained to tune out. So when you lead with a compliment about her looks, you instantly blend in with every other guy who just wants her attention. You're not sparking intrigue or emotion, you're confirming what she already knows. She's beautiful. She's heard it. It means nothing. If you truly want to leave a mark on her, if you want her to remember you, think about you, maybe even become obsessed with you, you need to break that pattern. You need to do what most men never do. Ignore her beauty and praise her mind. That is your first psychological edge. When you choose to look beyond her appearance and notice her intellect, her insight, her creativity, her sharp humour, now you're different. Most men never take the time to really see a woman beyond the surface, but when you do, it triggers something powerful in her psychology. Suddenly, you're not like everyone else. You're someone who notices what others miss, and that kind of man is rare. As the philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So when you hear her say something thoughtful, insightful, or uncommon, react. Lean in, say something like, "Most people don't think that deeply. You've got a sharp mind, and I can tell you really pay attention to things others overlook." That's not just a compliment, that's a statement of truth that hits her identity, not just her ego. It says, "I see you," not just your face, not just your body, you. This is where the dynamic begins to shift. What psychologists call a value reversal starts to take place. Instead of acting like you're lucky to be around her, she begins to feel like she's fortunate to have earned your attention, and that shift changes everything. You're no longer the admirer. You're the mystery, the challenge, and that's what creates obsession. Because now, it's no longer about her looks, which she can't control. It's about how she thinks, how she expresses herself. It becomes about who she is, not just what she looks like. And the most addictive form of validation a woman can receive isn't about her physical beauty. It's the feeling of being truly understood. Here's where it gets even more powerful. When you finally acknowledge her beauty, after you've already connected with her on a deeper, more mental level, your words carry 10 times more weight. A simple, "By the way, you're also stunning," becomes a moment she won't forget. It's no longer empty flattery. It's a meaningful recognition coming from a man she respects. Because you earned the right to say it. You didn't lead with it. You didn't need to say it to keep her attention. You already had it. And now your compliment is the icing on a cake she already wants to devour. So here's the bottom line. Don't feed the part of her that every man feeds. Feed the part she hides. Feed the part that wants to be seen, heard, understood. That's the path to real connection. That's the path to emotional addiction. And that's how obsession starts. As Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts. When your thoughts go deeper, your words cut deeper. When your focus goes beyond the surface, your impact becomes unforgettable. Don't be another voice in the crowd telling her what she already knows. Be the man who looks beyond the obvious. Be the man who speaks to her identity, not just her appearance. That's the man she chases. That's the man who changes the game. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you complimented a woman on her mind, her ideas, or her perspective, instead of her looks? And how did she respond? I want to hear your story. Drop it in the comments below. Let's talk about what really makes women remember us and what sets powerful men apart from the rest. Number 2, reward her with silence. Let me tell you something most men will never understand. Silence, when mastered, becomes a weapon sharper than any word, more persuasive than any compliment, and more magnetic than any chase. In a world where everyone is screaming for attention, the man who holds his silence radiates power. Not passive silence, not sulking, not immature withdrawal, but deliberate, strategic, stoic silence. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." And that's exactly what this is. Strength in restraint. When a woman pulls away, grows distant, or goes cold, most men panic. They text again. They triple text. They explain. They beg. They try to fix something that doesn't need fixing. But the grounded man, the man who knows his value, doesn't flinch. He doesn't chase. He doesn't flood the silence with desperation. He breathes. He lets the silence work for him. And this is where the power lies. Because when used with presence, after you've shown warmth, depth, confidence, your silence feels like a power shift, not a punishment. It makes her pause. It unsettles her expectations. It shifts the emotional dynamic without a single word. Understand this. This is not about ghosting. This is not about withholding affection to manipulate. This is about creating space to remind her, and yourself, that your attention is not a commodity. It is a reward. Only the man who has first made his presence felt, who has shown depth and authenticity, can then retreat and let his absence speak. Like thunder after lightning, the silence only matters if the spark came first. If she never felt your presence, your silence is just emptiness. But if she did, then the quiet becomes loud, the lack becomes longing, the withdrawal becomes desire. You must understand the psychology. Scarcity creates value. The rare becomes desired. When every other man is reacting, talking, texting, chasing, the man who stays still becomes a mystery, and mystery creates obsession. You're not silent because you don't care. You're silent because you've already spoken in your presence, your confidence, your purpose, and now you wait. You observe. You let her wonder. Why isn't he reacting? Why do I miss his presence? You let the silence do what words never could. That's stoicism in motion. You are unmoved. You are centered. You choose clarity over chaos. You choose discipline over reaction. This kind of self-control is intoxicating. It's rare. And what's rare is irresistible. So how do you avoid being cold? By making sure your silence is born from power, not pain. From confidence, not confusion. You're not ghosting, you're resetting. You're not punishing, you're preserving your peace. And if she reaches out, curious, unsure, suddenly valuing what she once took for granted, then you know it worked. Now she's not just interested, she's emotionally invested. But remember, this only works if you've shown up as a man of value first. Don't be invisible. Don't be emotionally absent. Be fully present, then step back with precision. And when you do, that absence becomes louder than 1,000 words. It whispers the one truth no woman can ignore. I don't own his attention. And that's when she wants it more. That's when the game changes. That's when you become the one she can't stop thinking about. Now, comment below. My silence is power. Like, subscribe, and step into the mindset of a modern Stoic. Number 3. Make her jealous, subtly. Jealousy. A word that makes most men flinch. A word that's been twisted, demonized, and misunderstood. Most men, especially those trying to do the right thing, avoid it like it's poison. They believe it's manipulative, immature, even cruel. But let me speak to you with the voice of experience, the voice of truth, the voice of a man who's seen behind the curtain. Jealousy, when understood and used with silent precision, becomes one of the most powerful psychological triggers you can ever activate in a woman. Not to hurt, not to play games, but to remind her on a primal level that you are not just a man, you are the man. Desired, respected, valuable. Let's break something down right now. Most men lose the game the moment they think they've won it. The second a woman gives them attention, they start orbiting her like she's the center of the universe. They abandon their purpose. They stop engaging with others. They cancel plans. They silence their edge. They move from being the hunter to the puppy. And women? Women sense that shift, and they hate it, because deep in their wiring, they're not wired to cherish what comes too easy. A woman wants to earn your attention, compete for your energy. If you remove the need for her to chase, you remove the thrill, and with it, her emotional investment dies. Let me tell you something brutally honest. She wants to feel like you are being noticed by other women, not in a sleazy, showy, immature way, but through your presence, your composure, the energy you radiate when you're fully rooted in yourself, not chasing validation. You don't need to flirt. You don't need to speak about other women. You just exist in high value, and they notice. She sees it. She feels it. She starts questioning, wondering, calculating. Who is he texting? Why did he smile like that after checking his phone? Why do other women lean in when he talks? This is how you subtly create a competitive frame without saying a single word. That's not manipulation. That's reality. That's biology. That's power. When you stop chasing, you create space for things to come to you. This isn't just about business or success. It's about women, attraction, relationships. Men who chase push women away. Men who stand still and radiate pull them in like gravity. Think about lions. The lion doesn't chase every antelope. He waits. He chooses. That's how you must operate. Command presence. Command attention. Let her feel that being with you is a privilege, not a right. Jealousy, when triggered correctly, flips a switch in her mind. Suddenly, you're not just her man. You're the man other women desire. And that creates a shift. She starts to value your time more. She invests emotionally. She starts texting first, starts wondering where you are. She becomes obsessed, not because you manipulated her, but because you reminded her that your value doesn't depend on her validation, that you're capable, confident, and completely in control of your life, with or without her. This is emotional gravity. Women don't fall for men who put them on pedestals. They fall for men who already walk like kings. But I'll warn you right now, don't take this too far. If you fake it, force it, or flaunt it, it turns toxic. That reeks of insecurity. And women smell insecurity like blood in the water. You must build this from within. real confidence, real social proof, real purpose, not just pretending to be busy, being busy, not pretending to be desired, being desirable, and that only comes from doing the real work. Hit the gym, grow your business, master your craft, expand your circle, own your life. When you do this authentically, jealousy arises naturally, not from games, but from greatness. Now let me give you a final truth that most will never say out loud. Men who master subtle jealousy don't just attract women, they dominate the emotional landscape. They become unforgettable. Women remember them, think about them, obsess over them, not because of what they did, but because of how they made her feel. If she fears losing you, she'll fight to keep you. If she feels she already has you, she'll stop trying. That's the brutal math of attraction. So here's what you do. Stay calm, stay composed, stay busy. Don't announce, don't explain. Let your life speak. Let her see that you're moving, growing, rising without chasing, without begging. Because when she senses she might lose you, she'll do whatever it takes to keep you. And that's when you win the game, not by chasing, but by becoming the prize. If this message hits something inside you, like this video. Comment I am untouchable. Subscribe for more truths that will never be taught in school, in soft books, or by soft men. This is not theory. This is war strategy in the battlefield of attraction. Be a man who walks with silence but leaves an echo wherever he goes. Jealousy isn't your enemy. It's your ally if you wield it with strength. Take the edge, hold the frame, and never, ever forget who you are. Number 4. Act like you could walk away anytime. Sit up straight, lift your head high, and listen carefully, because this might be the most important thing no one ever told you. The most powerful man in the room isn't the one who talks the loudest or tries the hardest to be loved. It's the man who can walk away at any time, not because he doesn't care, but because he refuses to lose himself for anyone. That mindset alone separates you from 99% of men out there. Most guys crumble the moment they get a little affection. A few sweet words, a touch of intimacy, and suddenly they're clinging for dear life. They start overthinking, compromising, and doing backflips just to keep her happy. And in that desperation, they give away all their power. Don't be that man. Be the one who sets the standard, not the one who chases it. Remember what Epictetus said. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. When you stop imagining that losing her is the end of the world, you regain your strength. Because true strength is not found in holding on, it's found in knowing you'll be okay, even if you let go. When you carry yourself like you could walk away anytime, it doesn't mean you're playing games. It means you have boundaries. You're not seeking validation. You're not emotionally dependent. You're there because she brings value to your life, and if that changes, you're not afraid to move on. That mindset, that's what drives women crazy, not in a manipulative or toxic way, but in a way that makes them stop and think. It flips the script. Suddenly, she's not the prize, you are. That mystery, that emotional independence, it captivates her. Because now she has to figure out how to keep your attention. She's no longer in control of the emotional dynamic, and that's when obsession begins. You're unpredictable, you're grounded, you're not at her mercy, and most of all, you're a challenge. You're the kind of man who doesn't fold just because someone shows interest. And in today's world, that's rare. Most women are used to men who fear conflict, who beg for love, who try too hard to keep the peace. But when you break that pattern, when you say, I won't settle for half effort or emotional games, you stand out. You gain her respect. You stay in her mind even when you're not around. She starts chasing that feeling you give her because she knows it's not easy to find. Walking away isn't a threat. It's a standard. It's the quiet message that says, I want you, but I don't need you. And when a woman feels that kind of energy, she leans in. She invests more. She becomes emotionally hooked. Because deep down, what she truly desires isn't a man who gets lost in her. It's a man who makes her want to be part of his world. Let this be your reminder. Don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Zrania. Marcus Aurelius. That's what it means to be a modern Stoic, a man with purpose, a man with control, a man who leads with reason, lives with strength, and loves with intention. So if you've ever felt like you gave too much and lost yourself in the process, share your story in the comments. Speak your truth. You might just help another man take his power back. And remember, every man should watch this video because this isn't just advice. It's a wake-up call. Be the man she wants to keep, not the man who begs to stay. That's the difference between being wanted and being needed. Choose wisely, stand firm, and never forget who you are. Number 5. Break her patterns. Gently. Break her patterns. Gently, but with precision. Most men don't realize it's even happening until they're already dismissed, categorized, and forgotten. Women live in emotional scripts, not just habits or routines, but intricate emotional narratives they've rehearsed for years. These scripts dictate how they expect people to behave around them, especially men. Attention? It follows a familiar pattern. Connection? A rehearsed performance. When you respond exactly how she expects, complimenting her beauty, reacting to her photos, chasing when she pulls away, you're playing a role she's seen 100 times. And, like background noise, you fade. But if you break that pattern, not with force or arrogance, but with subtle, grounded disruption, you become unforgettable. Why? Because you didn't act from a place of need. You didn't seek approval. You gave her something far more powerful: surprise, curiosity, and emotional clarity. That's how obsession begins, not through desperation, but by being the outlier in her emotional world. She expects likes, DMs, validation. She thrives on the dopamine rush of digital adoration. But what happens when you don't play along? You don't heart her post. You don't slide into her inbox. Instead, you notice the book in the background of her photo. You bring up a deeper idea she once mentioned. You reflect something back to her that no one else sees. Suddenly, you're not another admirer, you're a mirror. A man who sees her, not just the surface. And that mirror, that moment of being truly seen. That's where the emotional script shatters. Here's the truth. Most men believe disruption means dominance. They try to be alpha, loud, overbearing, confrontational. But Stoicism, the true kind, teaches the opposite. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Emotional disruption isn't about overpowering her. It's about not being moved by her games. She flirts with others in front of you, withdraws, tests, throws a jab. Most men react. They become needy, defensive, or aggressive. You smile. You say calmly, "That was cute." Trying to see if I'll chase? Then you carry on, centered, detached. That calm refusal to perform, that is power. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that echoes. You break her script by not giving it fuel. And because people are fascinated by what they can't define, she leans in. She watches. She wonders, why doesn't he respond like the others? And in that curiosity, emotional gravity forms. This isn't manipulation, it's emotional clarity. You're showing her that your sense of self is immovable, unaffected by superficial power plays, that you are the anchor, not the storm, that while others are tossed around by her waves, you remain grounded. As Epictetus put it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You must embody that. Be unmoved. Be precise. Be different. But don't mistake gentleness for weakness. Breaking her patterns gently doesn't mean passivity. It means mastery. It means seeing through her defenses while never making her feel judged. It means understanding the script, but never auditioning for the role. When she realizes you operate by different rules, not through dominance or submission, but through centered awareness, that's when the real bond begins. Not surface-level attraction, not temporary interest, but obsession rooted in respect. Because you're no longer just another guy. You're the one who didn't play the part. That's unforgettable. So ask yourself, are you reacting or are you redirecting? Are you trapped in her patterns or breaking them, calmly, gently, like a master of emotional aikido? If you want to be the man she can't stop thinking about, start there. Now it's your turn. Have you ever broken a pattern and seen a woman shift completely? Or did you once follow her script and disappear into the crowd? Share your experience below. Your insight might be the spark another man needs today. And remember, real power is quiet, real presence is calm, and the man who rewrites the script, without ever needing the spotlight, is the one who stays burned into her memory. Number 6. Give her attention, then take it away. Men, listen carefully. This is not just advice. This is a directive for every man who's tired of chasing and ready to become the one who is chased. In today's world, too many men give away their power the moment they get a sliver of female attention. They mistake being nice for being needed, and what starts as interest quickly mutates into obsession. On their part, not hers. They flood her with compliments, overextend themselves with time and energy, and unknowingly dilute their own value. Why? Because they lack contrast. And contrast, gentlemen, is king. Constant attention kills desire. It doesn't spark emotion, it numbs it. You must understand this. A man who is always available, always giving, always there, is not perceived as strong, secure, or masculine. He becomes background noise. Predictable, forgettable. Women are not drawn to desperation. They are drawn to energy that is rare, mysterious, and in control of itself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." But being good doesn't mean being emotionally weak or endlessly accessible. A man of power is a man of presence and absence. He knows when to give and when to pull back. He lets her feel his presence deeply, but then he vanishes. Not to punish her, not to manipulate, but to create the sacred tension that drives desire. You must become the storm that passes, then returns without warning. The fire that warms, then disappears, leaving her cold and craving your flame again. This is not cruelty. This is strategy. This is psychological gravity. And it works, because she will chase what she can't fully possess. If you want to be loved, said Seneca, love yourself first. That means you stop waiting by the phone. You stop measuring your worth by her replies. You give her moments of deep magnetic connection, and then you go live your damn life. You train, you work, you build, you grow, you disappear. And when she feels the gap your presence left, she'll start questioning everything. She'll replay your conversations. She'll crave your energy. She'll check her phone with restless fingers and an anxious heart. That is power. That is control. That is attraction born from absence. Remember, what is constant becomes invisible. What is unpredictable becomes unforgettable. This is your edge. This is how obsession begins, not by smothering her, but by letting her miss you. Most men will never grasp this because they're too afraid to pull back. But not you. Not anymore. Don't be needy. Don't be the entertainer. Don't be the filler of silence. Be the silence that echoes in her mind. Be the void she wants to fill. Be the man she can't figure out, but can't walk away from. Give her attention, then take it away. Let her feel that void. Let her hunger for your return. And when she starts chasing you, that's when you've won. That's when she doesn't just want you, she needs you. Now, if this hit you like a punch of truth, then hit that like, drop a comment below saying, "I am the storm." And don't forget to subscribe, because this isn't just content. It's your new blueprint for mastery. Number 7. Pull away when she wants you close. When a woman starts showing more interest, texting more, calling often, maybe even getting a little clingy, most men make the classic mistake. They think, finally, I've got her. Now I just need to give her even more attention so I don't lose her. So they lean in, hard. They become available 24/7, respond instantly, and start showering her with affection. But that's exactly when you need to do the opposite. Here's a truth that's hard to accept, but impossible to ignore once you understand it. Women don't become obsessed with men who are always available. They become obsessed with men who know how to create emotional tension. And one of the most powerful ways to create that tension is to pull away, right when she starts pulling in. Not ghosting, not playing games, just becoming slightly less available than she wants you to be. Just enough to spark uncertainty in her mind. Because of that uncertainty, that's what gets her thinking. That unanswered text, that small delay in making plans, that quiet pause when she expected a reply, that's when her thoughts started racing. Is he losing interest? Did I say something wrong? Why am I thinking about this so much? That emotional tension is addictive. Because here's the thing. Women crave emotional stimulation. Predictability is the death of attraction. When she knows she has you completely, when there's no challenge left, the thrill dies. But when she feels like she almost has you, but not quite, you activate a deeper, more primal part of her psychology. She becomes curious. She starts chasing. And that's exactly where you want her. Engaged, intrigued, and hooked. Most men are terrified to pull back, especially when everything seems to be going well. But that fear is exactly what holds them back. When you resist the urge to pour on affection and instead stay grounded in your own center, you become the man she can't figure out, and that's irresistible. You show her something rare, a man with options, a man who doesn't need her to feel complete, a man who wants her but doesn't depend on her. That kind of energy is magnetic. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about setting the pace. You don't speed up just because she does. You don't validate every emotion, and you don't respond to every message instantly. You maintain a sense of mystery, you stay composed. That emotional space keeps her on her toes, keeps her interested, and keeps her chasing. And here's the kicker. When you do show affection, it hits harder. It means more. Because now she knows it's genuine. It's not driven by desperation, it's deliberate. A gift, not a plea. That moment you pull away when she expects you to lean in, that's when you create emotional gravity. That's when she leans in harder, tries to understand you, tries to earn you again. And that is where you want her. Because in that space, between certainty and doubt, is where obsession lives. In a world full of men trying too hard, the man who knows how to pause, who knows how to stay rooted in his own value, stands out like a beacon. Don't chase, lead, don't beg, own your worth. Be the man who doesn't need to be needed. That's the man who never gets forgotten. All right, brother, before we go, let me leave you with this. If even one idea from this video hit home, let it sink in. This isn't just about women, and it's not about games or manipulation. These 7 psychological shifts are about becoming a man who doesn't chase approval, he radiates presence. A man who doesn't beg for attention, he commands it without saying a word. When you hold your silence, when you break old patterns, when you stay calm while others lose control, you're not just leveling up in relationships, you're leveling up in life. This is about becoming the kind of man who walks into any room and doesn't need to prove a damn thing. Power isn't something outside of you, it's something you carry. Every day, in how you speak, in how you wait, in how you choose stillness over chaos. So my advice, practice this. Don't just watch, live it. Let your silence speak louder than your words ever could. If this sparked something real in you, subscribe now. Because this space is built for men who are done chasing, done pretending, and ready to lead, with calm strength and unshakable presence. Stay grounded, stay sharp. And above all, stay true to the man you are meant to become. Why women secretly love these 6 things more than money. Stoicism, modern stoic. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. Persis swing. Have you ever wondered why some of the richest men still struggle with rejection, infidelity, or simply fail to capture the hearts of the women they desire? Meanwhile, other men with fewer material possessions seem to effortlessly win the attention of incredible women. It's puzzling, right? We're often told that if you have money, you have it all, including love and respect. But what if I told you that money is just a small part of the equation? There are 6 things women secretly value far more than wealth. In this video, I'm going to uncover those 6 things and explain how you can master them, inspired by the timeless wisdom of Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers in history. Stick around until the end, because what you'll learn here could transform the way you approach relationships and love. Let's travel back to ancient Greece, around 350 BC. Aristotle, a renowned philosopher and teacher to Alexander the Great, was a man of immense intellect and influence. Despite his fame, wealth, and access to power, Aristotle understood that true success in life wasn't about material possessions or external status. Instead, he focused on cultivating virtues within, qualities that are far more attractive, enduring, and valuable than any wealth. In this video, I'll walk you through the 6 things women secretly appreciate more than money and show you how you can embody them, just as Aristotle taught through his philosophy. By the end, you'll have the tools to create deeper, more meaningful connections that go far beyond surface-level attraction. 1. Emotional control. Do you remember the first time you truly fell for someone? I'm not talking about a passing infatuation, but the kind of love that grabs you at your core, the kind that shakes you. Maybe it was her laugh, so genuine, even when you cracked the lamest joke. Maybe it was the way she looked at you, making you feel like the only man in the world. Perhaps it was a quiet moment, walking together at sunset, or lying next to each other with her head on your chest, where silence spoke louder than words ever could. That's the magic of connection, the purity of emotional intimacy that no amount of money, power, or material success could ever replicate. But then, something changed. The warmth you once felt turned cold. Do you remember where it all went wrong? Was it something you did, or something she said? Maybe it was your reaction when things didn't go your way, when you let your emotions overpower your judgment, pushing her away in the process. Listen closely. Love doesn't vanish because it's no longer there. It fades because emotions hijack the relationship. Anger, jealousy, insecurity, fear, they disrupt everything. Instead of talking to her, you start speaking at her. Your voice gets louder, sharper. You say things that cut deeper than you realize. You raise your voice in frustration, and her eyes, the ones that once shone with admiration for you, begin to lose their spark. She begins to question everything. Is this still the man she fell for, or has he become someone else, someone who can't control his emotions? This is where Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, enters the picture. He wasn't just any philosopher. He was the ruler of an empire, commanding armies, making life or death decisions every day. Yet even in the midst of such immense pressure, he wrote about one undeniable truth. You have power over your mind, not outside events. That right there, that simple idea is a game changer. You can't control her thoughts, her actions, her past, or her mood. You certainly can't control if she decides to leave. But you can control one thing: your response. When you master your emotions, when you refuse to let anger dictate your actions, you become the calm in the storm. You stay centered, grounded, and powerful, qualities that women instinctively feel. In a world filled with impulsive, emotional reactions, the man who remains calm, steady, and in control becomes the rock that others trust. This is what women crave. It's what makes them feel safe, secure, and attracted to you. Think back for a moment. Have you ever let your anger push someone away? Have you ever said something that you deeply regret in the heat of the moment? It's okay if you have. We've all been there. But here's the crucial part. Every new day is a chance for you to start fresh. Not just with her, but with yourself. Emotional control is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending you don't have them. It's about mastering them. It's about not allowing life's inevitable challenges to shatter your composure. It's about being tested by her and remaining calm, strong, and unshaken. This is the essence of being a Stoic. And when you embody this, women will feel it. They'll feel your strength, the safety in your presence, and they will trust you in ways they never would, if you were reactive or emotionally volatile. In a world of emotional chaos, the calm, controlled man is the one who stands out. So, the next time she pulls away, the next time she says something hurtful, or the next time your pride is screaming to explode, ask yourself, will you react or will you respond like a Stoic? Because, in the end, the man who wins her heart is the man who can hold his own, even when emotions are running high. And if you're still with me, it's because you know deep down that this is true. You're here for a reason. Your story is still being written, and trust me, the next chapter begins with mastering your emotional control. The real power lies in how you respond. Embrace it, own it, and watch everything change. Remember, women may secretly love money, power, and status, but what they truly crave, what they can never resist, is the strength of a man who knows how to control his emotions and lead with unwavering calm. So, do yourself a favor. Start practicing now. Your future self will thank you. What's your take on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 2. Purpose. You remember her smile, the way she leaned in when you spoke, the warmth in her voice as she whispered, "I've never felt this way before." It felt like magic, didn't it? You weren't just in love with her, but with the idea of her, with the feeling she stirred within you. But then, something changed. She grew distant. Texts became shorter. Time together became less. You asked her, "What's wrong?" And she responded, "I don't know. It's not you. It's just that I feel like something's missing." And you were confused. You thought you were doing everything right. You gave her your attention, your time, even your money when she needed it. But here's the truth that no one warns you about. Love doesn't thrive in comfort. It thrives in movement, in purpose. And women, they don't fall in love with a man. They fall in love with his mission. So let me ask you this. If someone asked you right now, "What's your purpose?" what would you say? Would you respond with something like, "I want to be rich," or "I want to be successful"? Or would you say, "I'm building something meaningful"? The difference is in the depth of your answer. When a man is on his mission, when he's focused, building, evolving, that's when women feel most drawn to him. Not because he's neglecting her, but because his presence carries direction, conviction, and strength. Look at Marcus Aurelius. Despite being the emperor of Rome, he didn't sit back on his throne drinking wine. He lived with intensity, writing in his journal by candlelight, reminding himself each day, do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others. It is not your job to direct the universe, but to direct your own steps. Aurelius was a man with purpose. Purpose isn't about being busy, it's about moving with intent and focus. Now, let me tell you a story. Maybe it's your story, maybe it's every man's story. There was once a guy deeply in love. He made her laugh, he cooked for her, they talked for hours. But over time, she started asking tough questions. What do you want out of life? Where are you going? And he would smile, shrug, and say something like, I'm still figuring it out. She waited. She supported him, but deep inside, her heart started to drift. Not because he was a bad man, but because he had no purpose, no fire to lead him. And one day she said goodbye, not because she didn't love him, but because he didn't love something bigger than her. Women want to feel your purpose. They need to see that you are walking towards something. They want to be beside a man who has direction, even if they don't know exactly where the road will lead. So ask yourself, what are you building? What wakes you up in the morning, even when no one is watching? What would you die for if it came to that? What would you proudly suffer for? Because when you find that, when you stop living only for weekends, pleasure, or approval, and start living for a greater mission, women feel it. They respect it. They see the depth, and they desire it. Don't chase her. Chase your purpose. When you align yourself with your mission, the right woman won't run from you. She'll run toward you. It's your path, your fire, your mission that will attract the right person into your life. Remember, true love is not just about affection, but about shared purpose. So let's hear it from you. What's your purpose? What drives you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss how we can all begin building lives filled with meaning, not just success. 3. Self-discipline. Ever found yourself staring into the mirror after a breakup, asking, "Was it me?" You replay each conversation, every text you never sent, the silent moments after every argument, wondering if there was something you missed. You loved her, and you would have done anything to make it work. You believed love alone could sustain everything. But here's the harsh truth. Love without discipline is like a car with no gas. It looks great, but it's not going anywhere. Let me tell you a story. Maybe it's your story too. There was a time when you were fired up, motivated, and driven. You worked out, had a plan, and were building a life that aligned with your ambitions. You were the man she first fell for. Then, comfort began to creep in. You stopped waking up early, skipped the gym, and postponed your goals, convincing yourself that love was enough. But something in her eyes began to change. She didn't stop loving you. No, what happened was you stopped loving yourself. You let go of the very thing that made you strong. Women don't just fall in love with who you are, they fall in love with what you stand for. And nothing signals strength more than self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter." He didn't care about accolades or applause. His focus was showing up for himself every day, regardless of the circumstances. Self-discipline isn't about being flawless. It's about being consistent. It's about doing the hard things when no one is watching. It's about waking up at 5 a.m., even when you're exhausted. Turning off Netflix to work on your goals. Saying no to short-term pleasure in order to protect your long-term vision. Picture this. What would happen if she saw you living with that same fire again? If she saw a man who was focused, driven, and refusing to waste his potential, she would feel the difference. She would see you growing into the man you promised you would be. Here's the secret. Self-discipline isn't just attractive, it's magnetic. It signals to a woman that you respect yourself. And when you respect yourself, you automatically command respect from others, including her. It's not just about chasing pleasure or distractions, it's about pursuing excellence. Once you stop chasing instant gratification and start chasing your bigger goals, everything changes. Your energy shifts, your presence deepens, your eyes tell a story of purpose and control, not of desperation or regret. And here's the truth. Whether she notices or not, whether she comes back or not, is irrelevant. What matters is you're doing it for you. You're rebuilding the man who wakes up early, who keeps his word, who makes himself proud even when no one is watching. That's the man she fell for. That's the man you need to be. That's the man the world needs. So ask yourself, not whether she still loves you, but whether you still love the man you've become. When you find that answer, everything else will fall into place. Be the man who lives with purpose, discipline, and integrity. When you become that man, you'll see that everything starts to align. 4. Selflessness. There's an undeniable truth that men, especially those between the ages of 35 and 70, often overlook when it comes to understanding women's desires. They may think that wealth, stoicism, and the appearance of strength are the ultimate tools to win a woman's heart. But what most men fail to realize is that women secretly crave something far deeper, something far more powerful: selflessness. It's a concept that echoes throughout history and is as relevant today as it ever was. The legendary poet Rumi once said, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray." And there's wisdom in that. In a world obsessed with material wealth and emotional detachment, women are drawn to a man who gives of himself, without expectation, without selfishness, and without limits. This doesn't mean you have to be a saint, but it means you need to step outside of your own ego, outside of your own comfort zone, and offer something that transcends your own needs. You have to lead with your heart, not just with your wallet or your facade of emotional control. Consider the modern Stoic, the man who controls his emotions, never showing weakness, never allowing himself to appear vulnerable. While this might earn you some respect, it will never create the deep connection that women long for. Women desire a man who can be both strong and soft, both stoic and selfless. It's the paradox that men must embrace. Strength is not just about holding back emotion, it's about the courage to be emotionally present, the willingness to give without asking for anything in return. When a man demonstrates this level of selflessness, he communicates something far more potent than any material possession ever could. He communicates that he is not just a provider, but a partner, a force of support, a source of love that doesn't require validation. Many men have convinced themselves that their wealth or their ability to keep their emotions in check is what attracts women. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding. Selflessness is the true currency of human connection, and it's what women truly long for. You may have heard that love is unconditional, but it's more than that. It's about being able to give freely, to show up, to listen, and to sacrifice for the people you care about. This is not about losing yourself. It's about making a deliberate choice to prioritize the happiness of others, which, ironically, brings happiness back to you. The famous philosopher Socrates once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Yet in today's world, many men lead lives of selfishness, chasing fleeting pleasures and material wealth only to end up empty. To attract the love you seek, you must first give of yourself, without hesitation. Women are drawn to the power of a man who understands this, a man who knows that his true value is not measured by his wealth or his ability to remain emotionally detached. His true value lies in his capacity to be selfless, to invest in the well-being of others, to make the world a better place not just for himself, but for the people around him. This is the man who wins hearts, who commands respect, and who attracts genuine admiration. Don't make the mistake of thinking that showing no vulnerability or flaunting wealth will win her affection. You'll be surprised by how much deeper her attraction will run when you show up not as a facade of strength, but as a real man, capable of love, compassion, and, yes, selflessness. The art of selflessness is the ultimate weapon in modern relationships. It's the ultimate demonstration of your power, your emotional intelligence, and your ability to lead from a place of empathy. It will not just make you more attractive, it will make you more human, more authentic, and more magnetic. And in the end, it's authenticity that women crave most. If you want to truly master your relationships and attract the love you desire, you need to embrace the power of selflessness. No amount of wealth, stoic demeanor, or modern detachment will ever substitute for the strength it takes to give without expecting anything in return. This is the true mark of a man who understands not only the world, but the hearts of those around him. So don't wait. Begin today. Give selflessly, lead with your heart, and watch how the world around you shifts. 5. Integrity. When she left, or when everything began to fall apart, how did you feel when you were alone? I don't mean alone in a room full of people. I mean that profound, raw silence. The silence when the texts stop coming, when her scent fades from your hoodie, and when you're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering if she's already moved on. Did that silence break you, or did it wake you up? Let me tell you, most men fear solitude more than anything. We chase connection, constantly avoiding silence. We beg for attention, not because we're weak, but because we've never learned how to be whole on our own. But think back. Remember when you first met her? You weren't desperate. You weren't chasing. You had your own vibe, your own rhythm. You were a man at peace with himself. And that's exactly what drew her to you. But somewhere along the way, things changed. Your life became about her, and less about you. Your identity started to revolve around her affection, and when she pulled away, your sense of self disappeared with her. This is where Marcus Aurelius offers us a powerful lesson. He said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Think about that. He's telling us that solitude is not our enemy, it's our power. When you become comfortable in your own company, everything shifts. you stop needing women and you start attracting them. Confidence is not loud. It doesn't come from clinging to someone else. True confidence is silent. It's a man who can sit alone, at peace, not because he's lonely, but because he's complete. I want to share a story with you, a story about a man who was shattered by heartbreak. He spiraled, he searched for distractions, he drank, he begged, and he cried, trying to fill the emptiness. But then, one day, he stopped running. He sat alone in the silence, and it hurt. It hurt badly. But he stayed in that pain. Over time, he rediscovered himself. He began to focus on his passions again. He journaled, he hit the gym, he took long walks, just him and his thoughts. Slowly, he began to rebuild. And one day, when he looked in the mirror, he saw a man, a complete man. Not a broken piece, but a grounded, unshakable man. That's what women secretly crave. They crave a man who isn't chasing validation. They crave a man who isn't afraid to be alone because he knows he's enough as he is. So now, let me ask you, can you sit in silence and still feel powerful? Can you spend a Friday night alone and still feel complete? Not because you've shut yourself off from the world, but because you've mastered solitude and found your own sense of worth. If you can learn this, if you can master the art of being whole on your own, you'll never need to beg for love again. Love will come to you naturally because it will be drawn to the man who doesn't need it to feel alive. Remember, solitude is not a prison. It's a temple. It's where your true power is reborn. Once you reclaim this power, once you learn to stand strong and firm in your own self-worth, everything will change. And if you think this is just some theory, think again. Countless successful men, past and present, have understood this profound truth. The silence is where they found their greatest strength. The solitude is where they built their empires, their confidence, and their deepest sense of self. So, I challenge you. Take a moment. Embrace the silence. Rediscover who you are when no one else is around. Be the man who doesn't need validation from others to feel powerful. Become the man who isn't afraid of being alone because he knows in his heart that he is more than enough. The woman who is truly meant for you will find that irresistible. And if this message resonates with you, drop your thoughts in the comments below. How have you learned to embrace solitude in your life? Share your story, and let's inspire each other. 6. Resilience. Resilience is one of the most compelling and deeply admired traits that women secretly love, often more than money, stoicism, or even the idealized modern Stoic philosophies that have become popular in today's world. It's not about having everything perfectly under control, nor is it about an unbreakable, emotionless shell. Instead, resilience is about a person's ability to weather life's storms and rise above them, no matter how many times they fall. In an era where uncertainty is everywhere and life's challenges feel unrelenting, resilience becomes not only a crucial trait, but an essential one. It's something that transcends superficial measures of success. Women often find resilience more captivating than material wealth because it shows a depth of character that can't be bought or fabricated. The man who can face adversity head-on, persist through difficulties, and rise from failure is someone who commands admiration. This is the type of man who demonstrates that no matter what the world throws at him, he can adapt, learn, and keep moving forward. Wealth is fleeting, philosophies often change with the winds, but resilience is a foundation that remains solid in the face of everything. It reveals a person's true nature, not in moments of comfort, but in moments of struggle. Resilience is often perceived as the ability to remain emotionally grounded despite external chaos, to keep pushing forward without losing integrity or compassion. Women crave this emotional depth in a partner, someone who doesn't crumble when things get tough, but rather remains steady, thoughtful, and proactive. It's not about being perfect or showing no vulnerability, but about maintaining the courage to act despite fear, to remain calm amidst the storm, and to stay true to one's values even when things go awry. Life doesn't always unfold according to our plans. There are times when things will fall apart, relationships will be tested, and circumstances will feel out of our control. This is where resilience comes in, being able to not just endure but to learn and grow from the experiences. Women, deep down, recognize this. They see resilience as an invaluable sign of emotional intelligence, an ability to handle life's unpredictable nature with grace and poise. The person who can bounce back from setbacks, who can handle challenges without losing their sense of self, becomes someone they feel they can trust, rely on, and build a future with. The resilience that women love isn't about putting up walls or pretending everything is fine when it's not. Instead, it's about confronting issues head-on, acknowledging difficulties, and finding solutions even when the path is unclear. This is the kind of strength that inspires respect and admiration. It's about having the fortitude to pick yourself up after every failure, to reflect, learn, and evolve. It is this very ability to remain emotionally stable under pressure that is far more attractive than any superficial display of success or philosophy. Modern life is full of distractions, challenges, and unpredictability. It tests our patience, our perseverance, and our emotional resilience in ways that we can't always anticipate. It's easy to get swept up in the idea that financial success, power, or even adhering to a philosophy like Stoicism will earn respect and admiration. However, while these things may be valuable, they don't necessarily provide the emotional connection and reliability that women are truly drawn to. They want a man who doesn't just survive life's trials, but who thrives in spite of them. This thriving, however, isn't about always being happy or victorious, but about continuously getting up no matter how many times you've been knocked down. It's about understanding that setbacks are part of life, and that growth comes from embracing challenges, not avoiding them. The resilience that women secretly admire is not just about toughening up emotionally or keeping a stoic demeanor. It's about being able to bend without breaking, to feel deeply, and yet remain unshaken by the chaos of the world around you. It's about being present, reliable, and steady, no matter the circumstances. You see, women look for a partner who can be their rock, but not in the sense of being a cold, immovable figure. Instead, they want someone who has the emotional depth to understand and share in life's highs and lows, someone who can be strong in adversity without losing their humanity. That is the power of resilience. It isn't just about bouncing back. It's about thriving, growing, and continuing to move forward no matter the challenges in front of you. A resilient man doesn't become bitter when things go wrong or give up when life feels difficult. Instead, he uses every obstacle as a lesson, every failure as an opportunity to come back stronger and more prepared. Women respect this strength not just because it's rare, but because it signifies a deep, emotional intelligence that is not only resilient but adaptable. In modern life, where uncertainty and difficulty seem like constants, being resilient will help you not just survive, but thrive. It will make you a stronger, more reliable partner in all aspects of life. And that, above all else, is what women are ultimately looking for. Resilience is your most powerful tool, more potent than wealth or rigid philosophy. It will serve you well in all areas of life, help you maintain your peace, and make you far more attractive than any external achievement ever could. Don't underestimate the strength of resilience. It's not just about enduring, it's about becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable with every challenge you face. So embrace it, and you will discover that resilience is the key to not just surviving life's struggles, but to conquering them and finding success in ways you never imagined. 7. Final story, The Three Men. Let me share a story with you. 3 men walk into a restaurant. The first man is dressed in a sharp, tailored suit, flaunting a $10,000 watch. He places his keys to a Ferrari on the table like they are a symbol of his success. He orders the finest bottle of wine, boasting endlessly about his business, constantly glancing at his phone as though his world revolves around it. The second man is dressed simply. He doesn't speak much, but when he does, people listen. He meets everyone's gaze and carries himself with quiet confidence. He speaks to the waitress, smiling as he uses her name, making her feel seen, valued, and respected. He listens intently, and it feels like the world slows down when he does. The third man stands apart from both. He doesn't boast about his wealth or flaunt his possessions. Instead, he carries himself with unshakable confidence, yet humility. He doesn't speak unless it's meaningful, and when he does, he speaks with clarity and purpose. People are drawn to him because his presence is grounded, steady, and full of integrity. By the end of the evening, which man do you think the woman at the next table is truly drawn to? Here's the truth, my friend. Women don't remember your wallet, your car, or your flashy possessions. What they remember is how you made them feel. Did you make them feel safe? Did you make them feel seen and valued? Did you make them feel grounded in your presence? Money might catch their attention for a brief moment, but what keeps them is the strength you project. Not your bank account, not your status, not even your appearance. It's your mindset, your emotional strength, your presence. Presence is everything. A man who is genuinely present, who embodies emotional stability and strength, leaves a lasting impression. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics to ever live, didn't chase applause or external validation. He focused on virtue, and in doing so, he became unforgettable. When you build yourself from the inside, when you cultivate Stoic strength, integrity, and emotional intelligence, love no longer becomes something you chase. It becomes something you naturally attract. So, ask yourself, what kind of man are you becoming? Are you focused on external appearances, on trying to impress others with your wealth and status? Or are you focused on becoming a man who exudes strength from within, who understands the power of presence and emotional depth? Women aren't drawn to flashy possessions. They are drawn to the man who shows up, grounded and emotionally aware, who listens and makes others feel valued. Don't fool yourself into thinking that money and possessions will win over a woman's heart. Be present, be strong, be stoic. Develop your mind, your character, and your emotional depth. When you do this, you'll find that love is no longer something you have to chase. It becomes something that comes to you naturally because the right woman is drawn to the man who knows who he truly is, who exudes emotional strength and confidence, and who doesn't rely on anything external to define his worth. So take a moment and reflect on this. What kind of man are you becoming today? You have the power to shape your future. Invest in yourself. Build your inner strength. Be present. Make the choice today to become the man that women are truly drawn to, the man who doesn't need to flaunt anything to be unforgettable. What do you think about this perspective? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Seven signs their heart is yours, but they're afraid to show it. Stoicism. Modern Stoic. Love is not about possession, it's about appreciation. Osho. Every day, countless men unknowingly walk away from something real, simply because they couldn't see it. They missed the signs that were right in front of them. They were waiting for love to be loud, obvious, and easy to spot. But the reality is, true love, real emotional connection, is often quiet and subtle, carefully hidden behind walls constructed by fear, past heartbreak, and pride. The most powerful emotions are not always the ones that scream the loudest. They're the ones that whisper, waiting for someone who truly understands to hear them. Today, you'll uncover what most men will never even notice. The quiet signs that her heart is already yours, even though she may be too afraid to show it. This isn't about guessing or fantasizing. It's about developing a deeper understanding of human nature, recognizing the unspoken cues that tell you the truth about her feelings. By learning these signs, you'll gain an entirely new perspective on relationships, one that will change the way you approach love, heartbreak, and emotional connection forever. If you're truly serious about mastering your relationships, about not letting fear or uncertainty dictate your future, about finally knowing what's real and what's not, you cannot afford to miss this opportunity to learn. The world is filled with men who live in confusion, guessing and second-guessing the intentions of those they care about. But if you want to break free from this cycle, you need to understand the subtle cues that give you the answers you've been searching for. Supporting this channel helps bring this life-changing knowledge to others, men who may never even realize they need it. By spreading this message, we're building a generation of men who don't just guess their way through relationships, they know what's real, and they act with confidence. Together, we are shifting the narrative from uncertainty and doubt to understanding and mastery. Now, let's get into it. If someone loved you, but was too afraid to show it, would you even recognize it? What if the greatest love of your life is right in front of you, hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to see it? Most men don't, and they lose everything because of it. Today, you're going to learn how to recognize the signs that so many others overlook. These aren't the obvious, in-your-face gestures. They don't shout for your attention. Instead, they whisper quietly, hidden in the little things, small gestures, unspoken words, and moments of vulnerability that reveal her true feelings. Once you learn to listen for these whispers, you'll never be confused about her heart again. The truth is, love doesn't always look the way we expect it to. It's not always grand gestures or overt declarations. Sometimes love is soft and silent, quietly building over time, waiting for the right person to recognize its presence. And if you're ready to see that love, to understand the deeper layers of connection, you'll unlock a new way of experiencing relationships. No more wondering, no more second-guessing, just clarity, confidence, and real connection. 1. Subconscious loyalty. Subconscious loyalty is one of the most profound, yet often overlooked aspects of any meaningful relationship. It's the kind of loyalty that doesn't need fireworks or loud declarations. It's not the big dramatic gestures that catch your attention. Rather, it's the small, consistent actions that quietly build trust and bond. When someone truly cares for you, their loyalty isn't something they announce. It's something that simply is. It doesn't require a plan or a speech. It just shows up. This type of loyalty is especially evident during tough times, when life hits you unexpectedly, when you're feeling overwhelmed, or when everything seems to be falling apart. That's when you need to pay attention. In those moments, it's not the person who talks endlessly about being there for you, it's the one who rearranges their life without hesitation to make sure you're not alone. Maybe they cancel their own plans without a word. Maybe they offer their time to you without asking for anything in return. To them, supporting you isn't a chore or something they need recognition for. It's simply what they do, because it feels right. This is where the power of subconscious loyalty lies. It's not just a one-time thing. It's a pattern. It shows up consistently through the stress, the silence, and the chaos. They are there, not because they have to be, but because they choose to be. What makes it even more incredible is that subconscious loyalty isn't driven by the need for recognition or praise. It's driven by an emotional bond so deep that it doesn't need external validation. Your struggles become their concern, your joy their quiet priority. This type of loyalty doesn't shout, it whispers, and it's the foundation of true emotional connection. A fascinating study by Dr. John Gottman, a leading relationship researcher, sheds light on the power of these small, quiet actions. In his research on long-term relationships, he found that couples who show loyalty in small, everyday moments, without expecting anything in return, are far more likely to have lasting, fulfilling relationships. It's not about grand gestures or sweeping proclamations of love. It's about the small, consistent acts of loyalty that build trust and create deeper emotional bonds. When someone is constantly there for you without needing the spotlight, it's not by accident, it's because their heart is already committed. Subconscious loyalty, according to Gottman's research, is one of the strongest predictors of relationship satisfaction and longevity. It's the secret ingredient in the strongest relationships, the quiet, often unnoticed presence of someone who cares deeply. So when someone constantly shows up for you, when their support seems effortless, When they act without expecting thanks or recognition, don't brush it off as coincidence. These are not random acts of kindness. What you're witnessing is the deep emotional attachment of a person whose loyalty runs so deep that it doesn't need to be shouted from the rooftops. It's already there, working behind the scenes, hoping you'll notice. And if you do recognize it early on, it will change the way you view every relationship in your life. In today's fast-paced world, where everyone's focused on themselves and the next big thing, this kind of loyalty is rare, and it's something you should not only cherish, but also strive to embody in your own life. True loyalty isn't about the big, flashy moments. It's about being there, quietly and consistently, through every storm and calm. If you see subconscious loyalty in your life, comment below with, "I see the loyalty that speaks louder than words." 2. Emotional inconsistency. Emotional inconsistency is a concept many men fail to understand, leading them to jump to the worst possible conclusions. They believe she's uninterested, playing games, or simply leading them on. The result? They walk away, frustrated, bitter, and confused. But what if I told you emotional inconsistency is not a sign of manipulation, but rather a sign of a battlefield raging inside her heart? It's the silent war between her desire to open herself up to you and her overwhelming fear of the vulnerability that could come with it. When you pay close attention, you can see this internal conflict in real time. In one moment she's warm, laughing, fully present, with her eyes lighting up at the very sight of you. Her body language is open, welcoming, and in that moment her heart wins. She lets her guards drop, just enough to feel that magnetic connection pulling her toward you. She's leaning in, letting herself enjoy the closeness. But then, almost instantly, the wall comes back up. She grows distant, cold, distracted. She acts like it never mattered. Don't mistake this for disinterest or a change of heart. It's not random. It's fear. Fear so deeply embedded that it takes over her actions before she can even control them. Her fear is not just of rejection, it's a fear of being exposed, of caring too much and not being cared for in return. It's the fear of trusting again and finding disappointment. Her mind floods with doubts, with memories of past hurts, telling her to pull back, to protect herself, to never risk everything on something that feels so raw and real. You may experience the push and pull of her emotions, but don't mistake it for proof that she doesn't care. In fact, it's proof that she does, perhaps more than she's even willing to admit. If you don't understand this, you'll misread everything. You'll assume she's playing games when, in reality, she's fighting a war within herself. Each time she pulls you closer and then distances herself, she's showing you just how deeply she wants to connect with you, yet how terrified she is of the potential pain that could come from trusting again. Emotional inconsistency isn't a sign of indifference. It's a reflection of a deep emotional struggle. A woman who feels nothing for you will stay steady, distant, and unaffected. But a woman whose heart is at war with her mind will show you flashes of real affection and then retract it out of fear. If you're smart, you'll see this for what it truly is. Not a rejection, but a silent cry for safety. She's asking, without saying a word, "Can I trust you with my heart? Will you protect what I'm too scared to offer fully?" Emotional inconsistency, when you know how to recognize it, isn't a warning to run away. It's an invitation to understand, to be patient, and to prove through your actions, not promises, that you're the kind of man she doesn't have to fear. As the great philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In this context, the enemy is fear. Don't become it. Instead, show her that you can be the calm in the storm, the safe harbour in the chaos. Stay present, stay consistent, and be the man who earns her trust, not by fighting against her, but by standing with her in her vulnerability. So, take a step back and observe. Don't be too quick to judge. Be patient. Understand that emotional inconsistency is a sign of deep inner conflict. She needs a man who is grounded, who can offer her stability. Can you be that man? It's not about playing the game. It's about recognizing when she's asking for something real. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What's your experience with emotional inconsistency? 3. Vulnerability in small ways. Vulnerability is not something that's easily shown, especially for men who are taught from a young age to be strong, stoic, and unshakable. Yet, real strength often comes from the ability to embrace vulnerability in small ways. In today's world, where emotional depth is often overlooked, being open to your feelings can make all the difference. The fear of being vulnerable, of revealing what's truly inside, is something many men face. But vulnerability doesn't always have to be a grand, dramatic act. It can manifest in small, everyday moments, and it's these subtle signs that can show a person's heart is open, even if they don't show it in bold gestures. Take, for instance, how someone may listen intently when you speak. In a society where distractions dominate, a person who truly listens to your words and responds thoughtfully is showing you a form of vulnerability. They're engaging with your emotions, your thoughts, your experiences, without trying to dominate the conversation or change the subject. It's these quiet moments of connection that reveal the deepest layers of intimacy, even when they're not openly displayed. It's not about extravagant gestures or saying all the right things, but about paying attention and being present when it counts. Next, think about the moments when someone goes out of their way to show you kindness, even in small, almost imperceptible ways. Perhaps they remember a little detail about your life, a favourite book, a movie you mentioned, or something you've been struggling with, and they bring it up in a way that makes you feel seen. These small acts show a commitment to something deeper than the surface. They're not seeking recognition or praise for their actions. Instead, they are revealing their vulnerability in a way that doesn't demand acknowledgement. It's the kind of gesture that may go unnoticed by others, but it speaks volumes to those who are paying attention. Moreover, vulnerability can be found in how someone reacts when things aren't going well. They may not always express it verbally, but the way they show up in moments of difficulty can be a sign that they care deeply. They don't shut down or pull away. Instead, they remain steady, offering support or simply being there without needing to fix the situation. This quiet support is a powerful form of vulnerability because it's an admission that they're not invincible, that they care enough to let their guard down. It shows that they're not afraid to experience discomfort for the sake of someone else's well-being. In a world that often praises toughness, these moments are often overlooked, but are exactly what make a person real and reliable. You also see vulnerability in how someone trusts you with their fears or insecurities. They may not come out and say it directly, but in the way they share personal thoughts or fears, you can sense their willingness to be exposed. It could be as simple as admitting they don't have all the answers, or acknowledging their worries about the future. Trust is a cornerstone of vulnerability, and when someone lets you see a part of their inner world, it shows you they value your relationship enough to be honest and open. This is especially true in a world where many people hide behind facades to avoid being judged. Vulnerability isn't just about emotional openness either. It can also show up in how someone takes responsibility for their actions. When they own up to mistakes or admit where they've fallen short, it's an indication that they're not afraid to be real. It's easy to place blame on others or make excuses, but the truly vulnerable person is the one who steps forward and says, "I was wrong." It's an acknowledgement of human imperfection, and it's through these admissions that relationships grow stronger and trust is built. In modern life, vulnerability is often misunderstood as a weakness, especially for men. But the truth is, embracing vulnerability in small ways is one of the most powerful things you can do. It takes courage to show up authentically, to listen, to support, to trust, and to admit imperfection. It's not about grand gestures. It's in the quiet moments, the subtle signs, and the acts of kindness that speak the loudest. As you navigate your own life, don't be afraid to be vulnerable in small ways. These actions build deeper connections, foster trust, and reveal a strength that is both rare and valuable in today's world. Embrace these moments and watch how they shape your relationships and your own understanding of strength. You must realize that true strength comes not from perfection, but from the willingness to show your humanity, even in the smallest ways. If you've made it this far, you're already on the path to something truly powerful. Most men stay stuck in their pride, hiding behind masks of invulnerability, never realizing that true strength lies in vulnerability. Don't let fear keep you from embracing your humanity in small ways. Take the first step. Comment below. I will show my strength through vulnerability. 4. Sacrificing personal time for you. When a man is truly invested in someone, when his heart is deeply connected, he will sacrifice his personal time for you, and not just once, but repeatedly. This is not a mere gesture, it's a reflection of his internal commitment, his respect for you, and his understanding of the significance of time. It speaks volumes about the depth of his feelings. Time is the one thing we can never get back, yet a man who is willing to give it away shows a profound level of trust and affection. As the ancient philosopher Theophrastus wisely stated, time is the most valuable thing a man can spend. This sentiment rings true more than ever today. Time is a finite resource, and when someone offers it to you, they are giving you the most precious thing they have. When a man truly values you, he will give you his time without hesitation or reservation. This isn't about fulfilling obligations or performing actions out of duty. It's about a man consciously choosing to invest in you, to be present, and to nurture the connection between you. This is a clear and unmistakable sign of love, and one that is often overlooked. A man who is willing to sacrifice his personal time for you is doing something that cannot be replaced. He is making an active decision to carve out moments from his busy life, to show up for you, to let you know that he sees you as a priority. He will make space for you in his schedule, even when life pulls him in a million different directions. It's easy to assume that his silence or moments of solitude mean he is uninterested or detached, but this is not the case. Sometimes it's in these quieter moments when he is actually gathering his strength and energy to be fully present for you. This act of time-giving is not always loud or dramatic, but it is profound. It is a quiet yet undeniable signal that his heart belongs to you. The fact that he is giving you his time, that he is investing in the moments shared between you, means that he is consciously building something meaningful. In today's fast-paced world, where time often feels like an illusion, this kind of dedication becomes increasingly rare. People are pulled in countless directions, chasing careers, status, and fleeting pleasures. Yet a man who genuinely cares will willingly put all of that aside to spend time with you. He understands that time is an irreplaceable investment, and that every moment shared with you adds value to his life. This is a message, not just from him, but from the depths of his heart. He's making the choice to put down his phone, cancel his plans, and engage with you. This is not something he does lightly. It's a commitment. It's the essence of what makes a relationship solid and enduring. His actions speak louder than his words ever could, showing that you are more than just an afterthought, more than just someone who occupies space in his life. Men often struggle with showing vulnerability, with letting their hearts fully unfold. To reveal love is to expose oneself to potential hurt, and so many men keep their emotions hidden. However, this does not mean that they do not care. It's simply that for them, love often has to be shown through actions instead of spoken declarations. A man who sacrifices time, who chooses to be present, is showing you his heart without needing to say a word. This act of selflessness is a sign of deep affection. Though it may be subtle, it is undeniably powerful. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, said Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher. This wisdom holds true in the way men show their feelings. It's not in their thoughts, but in their actions, that their hearts reveal themselves. His willingness to make time for you means that he is making a conscious decision to place you in his future. He is actively choosing to show that you matter in his life. Time spent together is an affirmation that he is creating a future that includes you. Modern Stoicism teaches us that our actions should be deliberate, purposeful, and true to our values. It's not enough to just feel something. You must demonstrate it through actions. In the context of relationships, This is where the true strength of a man is revealed. It's not about grand gestures or showy displays of affection. It's about the quiet consistency of making time for someone, of showing up when it matters most, of choosing to invest your most precious resource, time, into building something that lasts. This is the heart of modern Stoicism, to value action over mere words. The Stoic man knows that his emotions are his to control, but that doesn't mean he suppresses them. He lets his actions speak louder than any words ever could. He chooses to make time for what matters. So, when he sacrifices his personal time for you, don't take it lightly. Recognize the magnitude of that sacrifice. His time is something he can never get back, and when he gives it to you, he is giving you a part of himself. Don't take it for granted. Understand that this is not just about love, this is a statement of his commitment. Time is the most powerful currency we have, and when someone chooses to share it with you, they are offering you something irreplaceable. It's a rare and precious gift. And if you want to experience this kind of commitment in your life, remember this. The law of reciprocation governs all meaningful relationships. As you offer your time, your attention, and your energy to those you care about, you will see that same dedication reflected back toward you. The Stoics understood this principle well. They lived by the idea that we must not be passive in life. We must be present, intentional, and active in what we value. And in love, that means making time for those who matter. Don't wait for someone else to make the first move. Step forward, offer your time, show your commitment. Time, once lost, is never regained. So when you give it to someone, ensure that it is something worth giving. As you do, you'll find that others will offer you the same in return. The strength of any relationship lies in its foundation, and that foundation is built on the time you give one another. The next time someone sacrifices their time for you, recognize it for the priceless gift it is. Make sure you honor it, protect it, and most importantly, nurture it. Time spent together is the ultimate act of love. Make sure it's something you both value deeply. 5. Remembering tiny details. When it comes to understanding whether someone truly cares about you, it's not always the grand gestures that matter the most. Often, it's the tiny details, the small, seemingly insignificant facts that others might overlook, that hold the greatest emotional weight. Memory isn't random. It's a mirror reflecting our emotional priorities. Every day we are bombarded with countless bits of information, but we only retain the things that truly touch us. What doesn't matter emotionally simply fades away. So, when someone remembers the smallest things about you, things you may not have even considered important, it's a powerful sign of emotional connection. It's a clear message that you've made a lasting impact on their mind, even if they aren't consciously aware of it. Maybe they recall your favorite coffee order without needing to ask again. Or perhaps they bring up a funny anecdote you casually mentioned months ago. Or they remember the name of your childhood pet, or even your strong aversion to a certain type of music. These seemingly trivial details carry immense emotional significance. When someone cares deeply, they latch onto these fragments of you because, in their mind, you've become a priority. They're not just memorizing facts, they're holding on to pieces of you. The more they remember, the clearer it becomes that your presence has taken root in their life. And what's remarkable is that this doesn't require effort on their part. It happens naturally. Caring makes remembering effortless. Men who miss these subtle signals are often the ones who expect dramatic declarations or large gestures to prove someone's affection. They wait for overtly loud expressions of love or attention. But true emotional connection often reveals itself in the quietest, most understated ways. If someone consistently remembers details about you that others might not even notice, it's not just a coincidence or a polite gesture. It's a silent, yet profound expression of emotional investment. And here lies the power of this. Memory builds trust. Every time someone recalls a small moment or detail you've shared, they are showing that your words and experiences matter to them. They're proving that your presence in their life is not fleeting. It's valued, protected, and cherished. By paying attention to this, You'll never again have to wonder about someone's feelings towards you. You'll already know. You'll see it in the way they recall moments that you barely even recognized as important. You'll feel it in the way they hold your life alongside their own. In today's world, where distractions are endless and self-centeredness often reigns, when someone makes the quiet effort to remember the little things about you, it's a rare and pure indication that their heart is already yours, even if they haven't voiced it yet. As the great Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." It's not about grand, loud gestures, but about the quiet, everyday care and attention that make the difference. So, don't overlook the small things. Recognize them, appreciate them, and know that when someone remembers those tiny details, it's a powerful, unspoken sign that their heart is yours, even when they might not have the words to admit it. What tiny detail have you noticed someone remembering about you that proved they cared? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's discuss how these small moments can have a big impact on our relationships. Don't wait for grand gestures. Recognize the quiet signs. If someone remembers the smallest details about you, it's not just a coincidence. It's a sign their heart is already yours. Now, share in the comments. What tiny detail has someone remembered about you that proved they cared? Let's talk about how these small moments can shape our connections. 6. Emotional reactivity. When someone cares deeply for you, their emotional reactivity becomes one of the clearest signs that their heart is yours, even if they're afraid to show it. Emotions don't stay calculated and controlled when feelings run deep. They erupt uncontrollably. If someone's heart isn't involved, you'll notice that they hardly react to anything you do. You could talk to someone else, disappear for a while, or ignore them, and they wouldn't show a hint of disturbance. Their emotional state remains calm, almost as if you're not really a factor in their life. But when their feelings run deeper, even the smallest shifts in your attention hit them like an unexpected punch. A fleeting glance you give to someone else can trigger irritation. A casual mention of another person can make their mood shift. You might notice a touch of jealousy or an unmistakable tension when you're not as available as you once were. These moments aren't random. They signal real emotional investment. The key here is to realize that these reactions aren't intentional, nor are they calculated. They are raw and spontaneous, not crafted or controlled. The person who is scared to fully admit their feelings may try to keep their cool, acting indifferent, as though nothing bothers them. They might try to convince themselves that it's not a big deal, but emotions move faster than logic. Before they can rein them in, those feelings surge to the surface. This is why emotional reactivity is so important to observe. It's not rehearsed, it's not polished, it's the raw, unrefined expression of their emotional state. A burst of anger, a sarcastic remark that cuts a little too deep, or a colder tone when they catch you giving attention to someone else. It's all a testament to how deeply they care, even if they won't admit it. The most telling reactions are often the ones they wish they could hide, the ones that betray their true feelings and expose the emotional struggle underneath. These flare-ups don't signify weakness or immaturity. Rather, they reveal the depth of their emotional involvement, a depth so intense that it scares them. The truth is, they might be angry at themselves for reacting, frustrated that they can't keep the storm inside from spilling over. This internal conflict often causes them to pull back even more, trying desperately to regain control, to shield their vulnerability from the world and from you. It's this fear of showing how much they care that leads to more distance. Too often, we misread these signs. We see mood swings, jealousy, and irritation, and we assume it's drama or disrespect. But we're missing the bigger picture. The person who is emotionally reactive is struggling with feelings they're not ready to confront. Too many men overlook this, walking away when the emotional waves become overwhelming. But when they leave behind someone who cared deeply enough to be affected by their every move, yet didn't know how to express that care in a way that felt safe. The key is understanding the emotional language underneath the surface. Don't mistake the signs of emotional reactivity for weakness. Recognize them for what they are, signs that their heart is yours, even if they're terrified to admit it. In our modern world, where emotional expressions are often masked by stoicism and the pressure to maintain composure, these raw moments are even more telling. Men especially are conditioned to suppress emotions, to remain in control. But life doesn't always allow for such control. When someone's heart is on the line, their emotions surface in ways they can't always suppress. In moments like these, it's vital to pause and recognize that the most authentic, vulnerable parts of us are often the ones that reveal our true feelings. Pay attention to these moments of emotional reactivity, not as signs of weakness, but as signals of how much deeper someone's feelings might go. Recognizing and respecting this vulnerability is a powerful tool in modern relationships, one that can guide you to deeper understanding and connection. The next time you feel that raw, unfiltered emotion from someone, don't turn away in confusion or frustration. Instead, see it for what it truly is, a heart that's afraid to show how much it cares, but is revealing it nonetheless. 7. Attentive listening. In today's world, where noise floods every corner of life, genuine listening has become a rarity. People are distracted, consumed by their phones, their own thoughts, or the need to be heard. But when someone truly listens, when they immerse themselves in your words, it is a powerful, unmistakable sign of deep emotional connection. Real love doesn't simply hear, it absorbs every nuance. Pay close attention when she listens to you. Does she put away distractions? Does her body language shift toward you? Does her gaze lock on yours, unwavering? These actions are subtle but profound. A woman who truly cares listens differently. She doesn't just focus on what you say, but on how you say it. She can hear the pain hidden in your voice, the hesitation you try to mask, the frustration you suppress. It's not just the words that matter. It's the emotion behind them. She notices what others overlook, like the way your tone changes when you talk about something that burdens you, or the way your eyes reveal the weight you carry in silence. Her attention isn't just a reaction. It's a deep, instinctual connection to you, to your heart. She doesn't need to make a show of it because it's genuine. It's felt in the way she responds, the questions she asks, and the empathy she offers. Real emotional intimacy doesn't require loud declarations or grand gestures. It thrives in quiet moments of undivided attention. This kind of listening, this devotion, is rare. Most men chase the dramatic, the obvious signals of affection, not realizing that the purest form of love is often silent, subtle, and unnoticed. Attention is a love language that doesn't need to be spoken. It says, "You matter to me," without uttering a single word. When you experience it, when you feel her mind fully invested in understanding you, know that it's not accidental. It's her heart's way of silently choosing you, consistently, and without fanfare. Don't ignore it. Recognize it. Honor it. This kind of connection is a gift, not one most men will ever experience. But if you're lucky enough to have it, cherish it. It's sacred. Don't let it slip away. Understand that in a world where everyone else listens halfway, this kind of attention is rare, and it means something. It's her heart quietly but powerfully telling you that you're worth it. If you've made it this far, you're not just watching, you're part of something bigger. Drop empowered in the comments below. I want to hear from the men who finish what they start, who stand tall and refuse to back down. Your support isn't just a click, it's a spark that ignites change. Every like, share, and comment fuels a movement, helping men break free from life's chaos. Together, we're rewriting what it means to be a man. Hit subscribe, smash like, and share this video. One share could change a life. Let's build a legacy of strength and purpose. Who's with me?